what did I do to South African Football Association to deserve to be discarded completely
Yo.
out of football? I think it's just to portray an individual as this crazy woman who is bitter because she lost elections and just to rubbish my name. I think the intention was actually to rubbish my name so that people look at me and say, she's not needed. What she contributed doesn't count. It counts to nothing.
I'm still thinking, whose toes did you step on? Clearly, for you to get to this stage.
I think it's very clear that when I contested President DANNY JORDAAN, I stepped into his toes and he didn't like it at all. And he felt this woman, I have to do away with her one way or another. I've spent every little cent of my family into football.
And time.
Yeah, and my time. And there's nothing to show. I can't show you, you see this house.
The money comes from
Yes,
Zork.
no, never.
I have with me someone whom I hold in high regard, and I'm really excited that she made time to come and hang out with us here. The people I invite here don't need an introduction. Their lives are so incredible. Most of us already know who they are. I managed to get hold of Ria Ledwaba. How are you, ma'am?
No, I'm good. And how are you? Good to see you.
I'm excited to see you.
I'm excited to be here too.
Do you know, you still have this youthful energy about you. It's what Gaimar.
Well, I want to represent, I want those young girls to know that you have to do it for yourself first,
Yeah.
before you do. So they have to have role models. And
Yeah.
I think I'm one of the role models out there for young girls.
That's so true. I want to talk about the hairstyle quickly.
Yeah.
You've been carrying it for years.
Yeah.
How long? How long have you had this look?
2 decades.
20 years? Probably more.
Yes, more. I went to a saloon and this young chap says, I've got a different color. I just want to try it on you. Should I? And I said, why not? Let's see.
What were you doing in your life then at the time when you had this radical look?
I was just in town and I said, no, let me go and do my hair in a saloon. It was one of the saloons in Polokwane.
Okay.
Yeah, in town. So I went there and he gave me this color and that's it.
Oh, did you accept it immediately? Did you say you like it?
Yeah, I just loved it. I think I'm not afraid of challenges. I think it's a challenge when you haven't done it. You say, no, I can't take this color, but...
I like how you call it a challenge, but you've been carrying it for 20 years.
Even my hairdresser now, when he does my hair, said, can we go black now? And he says, no, this is your statement.
You should surprise us one day.
Yeah, with black hair. I hope he doesn't live in Joburg anymore. And then because I've been doing my hair with him. And so maybe when he goes back to Northwest, then I can dye my hair black.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But you still enjoy it. You still enjoy this look.
I do. I look at myself every morning and I say, oh, girl, you go.
I like that. I like how your youthful energy, you still identify yourself in that way as well.
No, I do, because I always look at myself and I must love what I see in the mirror.
That's true.
Yes, because it's what I'm going to portray when I go out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes.
I'm talking to someone who's banned. I've never heard anything. The word burn used to be used during apartheid with music and things like that.
We're back in apartheid, I'm sure.
What does that word mean in this context?
Persona non grata. I actually went to the dictionary to actually understand what it means. A little bit understanding, but I wanted to go deeper and see exactly what this persona non grata means. And you're just not welcoming. So, but when somebody says you are persona non grata in an industry that it's in your blood, it means you are not welcome in South Africa. That's what it means.
Yeah.
Yes.
But let's understand it properly. Persona non grata in the context of South African soccer. For
Yes,
you,
yes.
and let me be lame in terms of my explanation.
Yeah.
Can you go to a soccer game? Can you, or you are barred from participating in soccer activities? Explain what that really means.
It definitely means you can't go to any soccer game that is under the jurisdiction of South African Football Association. Bafana under 17, under 20, Banyana under 17, under 20. The PSL is under the jurisdiction of
SAFA.
SAFA. So it means I cannot go to a soccer game in my life. That's what it means. And it's a ban for life. It's not a ban like you are banned for 2 years so that you can rectify the wrongs that you have done. No, it simply says you are banned.
How did that happen? How did that come about?
I don't know where it came about. I tried to reflect on when I was there, or maybe if I was there, I would have asked those questions, but I don't know. But the letter simply tell me about the court case that I lost.
Yes.
Say that, the judge said what and what have you, and you have brought the association into disrepute. So I looked at the letter and I said, but, and it says by the decision of the NEC,
Okay.
you are hereby declared a persona non grata. So I asked myself many questions. What did I do to South African Football Association to deserve to be discarded completely out of football? I just went to watch Pirates and Chiefs, and
recently.
I enjoyed the game.
With those many goals.
5 goals, I was thrilled.
Yeah.
Knowing that maybe I didn't know that it was my last game.
What happens to you if they find you at a soccer game?
Nothing.
But then, what is this then?
It doesn't really, but I think it's just to portray an individual as this crazy woman who is bitter because she lost elections, and just to rubbish my name. I think the intention was actually to rubbish my name so that people look at me and say, she's not needed. What she contributed doesn't count. It counts to nothing.
Oh.
That's what I looked at it, and I said, oh my God, my grandchildren, who knows that
You're the soccer.
Abamponi ko dikolong tsa bona ba na le di-function ba re o ile ko bolong ba tla re how wena out of football for good.
It's almost like when Nelson Mandela was sent, and not only him, but many of them were sent to Robben Island. They're saying, this is your life, and we're taking you out of your life completely. The life that you know and understand, which is the life of politics and fighting for your people.
But you must also ask the question, Hore, the people who are sitting there, football people that have been elected, and will come to who's SAFA.
Yes, we'll get to that. Yeah.
But you ask yourself, for those men and women sitting there, did they really believe that they can declare somebody that has contributed so much into this game and just think they can just rubbish her name and they would not see her again? Probably they don't want to see me at the game, because I do go to a Bafana game, and I do go into the presidential suite. I do go into the supporters. Sometimes when I was the vice president, I decided I'm not going to sit in the presidential suite.
On the extra strong.
I would do the extra strong, and they were looking at me. She has become
what's
crazy.
Wrong with her?
What's wrong with her? And but I wanted to have a feel of what the supporters out down there feel when they're in the game, and I enjoyed the game that day because I came with some supporters too.
I'll tell you, it's the most fun you can ever have at a soccer game.
No,
Is when you're
definitely.
singing and dancing with the
Yeah,
crowd.
they.
I've been to the suits. They're
Yeah,
too fancy.
yeah.
What I like about them is there's cool drinks and things
And
to drink
food.
and food. And also, when you're at the stands with Papa,
Yeah.
oh no, that experience is priceless.
Yeah,
It's
that
completely
achanyana,
Wena o itse wena, ho monate go tlase na.
I know, I had that feeling.
Yes. I'm still thinking, whose toes did you step on? Clearly, for you to get to this stage. Ho na le motho
I think it's very clear that when I contested President Danny Jordan, I stepped into his toes and he didn't like it at all. And he felt this woman, I have to do away with her one way or another.
But you lost the elections.
Yes, I did.
So why does it matter now?
No, they want to be there, and this woman must not just be seen there. And it's a tragedy for South African football lovers.
I don't understand it at all. How long is the precedence of SAFA? What does the Constitution say? How long is the term?
We have made a decision in 2018 that the president of SAFA must serve for 2 years.
Only two?
Only two in terms of, and we were following the constitution of the country.
Okay.
Yes.
So 2 terms?
2 terms,
okay.
Yeah, which is 8 years.
Okay.
We serve for the first 4 and the next 4. That's what a decision was taken in that meeting. And the unfortunate part, it was never endorsed in the constitution.
How long has the current president been serving for?
He can serve for life.
Huh.
There's no time frames. There's no limit. If he wants to go for the 4th term, he can do so.
Is he on the second or third term? Third term.
Yes.
So already this is not quite, but I'll use the phrase, it's already against what was once spoken about.
No, definitely something that has been decided as a decision that we want to leave a legacy. You want to serve and leave a legacy, and have your vice president coming up. But look at his vice president; all of them are out. He always have new vice president. Always, it's always new people.
So that changes, but the top doesn't change.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. So I keep on saying to South Africans, because they ask a lot of questions like, yeah, but why are people talking when they are outside the organization? And I say, who says we're not talking inside?
That's true.
When you are in a board, you would know.
You say something.
That there is a majority vote. The people vote. And if I raise an issue that I believe it's an issue that needs to be addressed, and I'm beaten by the votes in the board, it does not mean that I've never spoken when I was there. So I know my colleagues, those that are out there that are called disgruntled, that's the term that they use them. No, those people, instead of answering questions that are asked, they will rather say, no, don't listen to those disgruntled people. They are unhappy. Ria is bitter because she lost the election, and so and so. But the issues remain.
Yeah.
That's why these issues, they were spoken about by Ace Noble in 2018 when he came in.
Yeah.
FIFA even came down when Ace was raising issues of governance, and say, but there are certain decisions that were taken, but they are not implemented. FIFA sent the current Secretary General of CAF. He came down here. I was one of the delegates there. I was not a vice president then, but I was one of the people that he spoke to, and FIFA was concerned.
That something is not right.
Yeah, they first sent the president of the president of Zimbabwe, who was a member of CAF, to come and understand what was happening. And then Veron came later, and well, it's unfortunate that at that time ACE withdrew on the day of the election. But the issues that he raised are the issues that will continue to be there because they are not attended to.
Give us one or two of some of the pertinent issues that remain problematic for you in particular. And then we'll move to our role as South Africans
Yes.
in all of this.
Yes.
Are we, again, using that example, spectators
Yes.
watching
Yeah.
a game of soccer
That
where
you
the
love.
administrators are playing,
Yes.
or are we a part of the story? But let's talk
Yes.
about some of the issues that are still pertinent in
The
the
electoral
problems.
committee.
Okay.
We went to election with no electoral code. So there was no code at all.
Meaning?
Meaning the code that tells you
How?
when you are elected, when do you run, when do you go and campaign,
Got you.
when do. But because that code was just removed, and I kept on referring to it because you can't just remove a code. It has to be removed in the Congress. It has to go to the Congress and be removed there. So I kept on referring to it and say, but in terms of the electoral code, I'm supposed to go and campaign. You know, at the moment my name is out there, I must go and campaign. But I was denied that. And you know, when they deny you, they write a letter to the region and say, no one must come there and campaign. Yes.
That's one example.
Yeah, that's one example. There was a decision that was taken in 2015 during Set Blatter because FIFA was saying you are too many in the executive of SAFA. Remember,
Because it's over 50 or so, isn't it?
now
Okay.
it's even increased. It was like 40, now it's 50, 47. So
And yet they were saying there are too many, even then.
when we were still like 30 something, yes. So FIFA issued letters. It was not a verbal letter, it was an instruction from FIFA to say, look at the structures of the world of football, the executive. You are the highest
You're the
in South
most
Africa.
number of
Yes,
people.
and you ask, and remember, when you are, the number is high, it costs the football money that should be used for teams.
While we're here for a second,
Yes.
how does that cost? Do you as executives get paid?
No, we don't get paid, but you fly.
Yes.
They book you into a flight.
Yes.
They book you into a hotel.
And it can't just be any hotel.
It can't be just any hotel. You get into a suit. They prepare a suit for you so that you look presentable.
Okay.
You know, so there is a lot of expenses that goes with a high number of executive,
Gotcha.
rather than having a number of 20 or 18, where we are 9 provinces. So it will make sense to have 2 representatives.
At
Some
least
regions, per region. Then you have 18, you know. So, but that decision was made. I still remember it is Resolution 20 of 2015.
Yo.
It was approved by the Congress in Mpumalanga.
What did it say?
It says the number of the executive must be reduced to 18.
And was it implemented?
No, it was never implemented because the president will come the next meeting, caucus, and say, no, FIFA can't tell us what we do. We are independent. We must be able to be represented all over. And then that's it. That decision is out.
Do you know, when you were talking about the expenses of the Sutu and all of that, I thought about the croissants. Do you know how the croissants are so expensive? And when you meet, go thoma ka di croissants again.
Yes. Yes.
And the croissants for 40 people is a lot.
It's not only the suit, it's the phones, you know, the laptops. You know, you give the NEC their privileges. That is why every election it's a fight. People are battling
because they want
to be in those suits. They want to be in that hotel, Hilton Hotel. They want to see themselves in a flight. You know.
But Melodor, there must be more than just suits and
No,
and
there is
flights.
honorarium. Remember, for the work, in fact, honorarium was based on saying you are representing first your province. You come to the national, but you must go back to provinces and do your work there with the
Okay.
provinces. Some have got cars that were bought by SAFA's money, still a death of 4 million rand in the last 2 financial years. It has not gone down
It's
because
related to the cars.
yeah, but the decision was that this NEC member, we are buying them cars, but they will not receive any honorarium. When there's honorarium, they do not receive. So it means they are still receiving honorarium because some of them are friends to the president. They will go there and say, President, my children at home, can I not receive this honorarium? So,
Explain the
yeah.
honorarium for us
Yeah.
so we understand it. What is exactly that?
It's just a thank you to the NEC to say you have been serving for this year. You are serving football at the highest level. You are leaving your family. Sometimes you are with the national team and whatever. And you must be able to be rewarded.
Is it in a
for
form of cash or
that.
just
Cash, about 100,000 rand.
just
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
So those are the expenses.
Yeah. Those are expenses. In 2022, the Congress of March, there was a decision that we have not received any honorarium 2019, 2021, 22. So it was approved in the Congress. Remember, the Congress, the members of the Congress are the regents.
Okay.
The NEC, they are there as appointed by
Okay.
the members, but they are not a member. A member is the regents that are there, the 52 regents. Those are members. So sometimes you are confronted with the question, but if something happened there in the Congress, why don't you challenge it and all that? There are members there that should be able to challenge issues of constitution. Why is our constitution always amended before the election? We've never seen anything like that.
Who amends it? Because it's the Congress that should have power to amend it.
Yeah, but it will start from the NEC. There are things, and then there's workshop. People are workshop. Some of us, I even wrote a letter to say, this workshop of the amendment of the Constitution, can I be part of it as the Vice President? And the President responded and said, no, I'm not going to be there, so you don't have to be there. And I was deprived. I wanted to be there because I wanted to contribute to this amendment of the Constitution, but that opportunity, I did not get it.
But that's a serious governance issue to amend the Constitution in a body that is not constitutionally recognized. These are just workshops. But why do they have the power to do something so big?
There's always been a pattern of doing things at SAFA that is outside the Constitution. When you amend the Constitution is very clear. It's written procedurally what is it that you need to do. A member will send their motion and say, this is what we want to see in the Constitution, and it must be in the time frame that is set in the Constitution. Then you will yourself, who send that motion, you must stand in the Congress and be able to motivate to the members that I'm bringing this. Never happened. This time around, it was an NEC member comes there, he tells them, we receive motions, we rejected some motions. You don't do that. There is no way in the Constitution where they say you will allow the members to present their motion, and the Congress, if they reject it, let it be rejected.
They reject it.
Yes. But unfortunately, there is a lot of victimization at SAFA. When you stand up and raise your voice, that is not what we like. You and people are afraid.
Are you your current situation with
Yes.
this persona non grata, is it a reflection of that type of victimization?
Yeah, but because I'm not afraid, I'll not be a person who's a coward to stand up in a remember my first stand up was in a congress where I had a team, Riestas, and there
Yes.
were men only there, but I had the courage to stand up in that congress and raise issues that I felt at that time were not it was like we come to a congress and then we have a paper, there are teams there, and Riestas is not there, and we forming second division, but my name is not there, and I'm asking how did
What's
this
going
happen?
on?
Yes, and I stood up there. I said, but we in the inland we have got two streams, the north and the south, and the south had 18 teams.
Okay.
The north had 20 teams where I was. And now they are taking number 1 and 2 from the 18, and now number 3 in this other
So
in the 20.
you're
so
already
I'm
out.
Yes, and I stood up and I said, and I remember the Buveli Matlangu was still the executive of SAFA then. Yes, and Taudet Unyane was also chairing that.
I remember
meeting.
that era.
Yes, and I said, but it can't be fair.
Did they hear you out?
They did.
Yes.
They said to me, we are going to ask you to write a motivation. Give us a motivation within 7 days, and we'll take that decision. That's how Ria Stars came into play in the second division.
Was there ever a time when South African soccer was, in your opinion, was administered properly, in your opinion?
I think so. I think during Ntate Oliphant Mulefi, Bustix Murewa, there were competitions.
Yes.
Ria Stars did not just come from nowhere. We had the Chappies Little League under 10, under 12. We had the under 19 Caltex. We had under 21 Toyota under 21. That's where we played. Ria Stars became known because of those competition. There's nothing. There's zero competition.
And help us understand it. Doesn't the Motsepe leagues and all of that play that type of role now?
No, it's a league. I'm talking about competition.
Yes, like
where
a tournament.
Yes, you'll play in a league, but you'll have MTN knockout. You'll have other tournaments there. So I'm talking about that.
Okay.
That time would be SAFA would have Smirnov. I don't know if the current executive know that, but when I was there, when I started with the under 12 and under 10, there was a Smirnov League of SAFA, and then there was an Impala League, which was the second, which it's like the ABC Motsepe League now, but we had this league called Smirnov League, and well supported, so at that, and players, that's why they play tournaments that are not recognized by SAFA, that are not sanctioned by SAFA.
Why do they play them? Just
because people want to play in a competition where there's competition, where there's supporters.
It's not just the league that they're fighting towards.
I was in Mamelodi this weekend at a ground there, a foundation called Gladisa Moyeni does fellowship games.
Wow.
They have under 15, under 17, under 9, under 13, under 15, under 17 boys that are playing in the local league. But then they invite the legends, the Joburg legends against the Pretoria. It was packed to capacity.
Of course.
and as even some of the teams in the Premier League, they don't pull that kind of crowd. But you can see the community, it's excited to be there to see. I was in one in Soshangube called Shaka tournament. It's going to the final on the 35th. His place is packed, more than 10,000 people there.
Amazing.
I'm sure he's moving it to the stadium because he's afraid of stampede.
Exactly.
Yes.
I want to go back to the structure. We're talking about 52
regional.
Yes. What is that? We already agree that it may be too big.
Yes.
What makes it so big?
Yeah, because the demographics of South Africa, it's how it is.
Okay.
The regions of SAFA are demarcated in terms of the country's regions.
Regions.
Yes.
In this case, regions. Okay, keep going. We're talking to
Tshwane
municipalities.
region,
Yes, we're talking to municipalities.
Ekurhuleni region,
Got you.
all those. So you have got SAFA Ekurhuleni,
Got
you have
you.
got SAFA Gauteng, you have got SAFA Sidibeng, you have got SAFA.
The same way
same
as
way
the
that you
country.
have that.
Yeah.
And it helps because then you have football played everywhere. And there will be a regional executive with the president, the vice president, and the treasurer, the secretary, and the members that will serve, making sure that football is played in that particular region. That's how the structures are.
It sounds like a good idea. But
Yes.
why do we then say it's too big?
No, we're not saying it's too big. We are saying the executive
Shouldn't
the
come
national.
from that.
No, we should say, why don't you have one representative of a region? You have 9 people that are representing each region, and you have the president and the 4 vice presidents, including the PSL chairperson. So you have a structure of 9 plus 4 and 5 plus 5, then you have 14.
Who is the 5?
It's the president, the 3 vice president,
you,
one
got
who
you.
should be a woman. In terms of the statute, it would never have happened. We fought.
Really?
Of course, it was a meeting that took more than 3 hours to debate why we should put this in the constitution, that one of the vice presidents should be in the constitution. Fought.
It should be a woman.
Yeah, and it should be a woman. So it was a debate. Why? The debate was even saying, no, but they can even be the president. So why put it in the constitution? Because it will not happen.
If it's not in the constitution.
If it's not in the constitution, it's not going to happen. You know that.
Sure.
Not going to happen. And that's why we have, so you will have the president, the 3 vice president.
Do we need 3?
Yeah, we have 3 vice presidents. One is a woman and the other 2.
Okay.
And then you have the chairperson of PSL, becomes an automatic vice. So you have 5 presidents.
And then the regions.
And then the 9 regions. So you have 14 executive. Less cost, no money wasted for football. If you call the teams and ask them, have you ever received your trophy? Have you ever received your prize monies? ABC Municipal League, there's an outcome. They even wrote a document that's sent to SAFA to say we cannot play and not be paid. Even the 15,000 and the 15,000 that they're given for as a grant, it will come probably at the end or sometime next year. Wow. So this is the issues that are happening in that. When I was there, and we raise issues. I'm take you to the issue of the referees. I'm saying, why do we have so many? Are we waiting for a referee to be killed in a stadium where we are not there? Because we are never there, where these leagues, small leagues are playing.
And there's a lot of danger there.
Yeah, yes. Because we have allowed the teams to pay for the referees. And
how does that work? I've heard that the
can't.
teams pay the referees, like the money that they're going to earn to referee the game. Yeah. They get paid by the teams
themselves.
So
350, it's 700 rand. Don't think it's
it's a lot of money.
No, it's 700.
Is that an agreed amount?
It's an amount that the referees are paid at that lower level. But my question all the time, I say, NEC, we cannot, as NEC, allow that situation to continue. We have regions. Let the region pay the referees. Let the teams go to the field of play and play football.
Not get involved with referee issues.
But if I'm going to pay, the referee who's going to do my game, I'm tempted. Anyone will
to
be
add
tempted.
An extra 20 rand.
Extra more than what you get paid. And then what happens? The referee has got an extra in his pocket. He has this kind and say, but, this is not bribery, but Can I give him the game? We have lost. I mean, we have seen games where you go there and your boys are prepared and they can kill someone in that field of play because they know they can play. But
Yes.
the referee comes there and decides the game goes this way, not that way.
What are the real dangers of that system for really that prohibits the country to develop further and grow further into a proper league that can be competitive worldwide?
Exactly. It's not about the money that you give to. It's the results of development in the country. Because you find a team that was not supposed to go to the playoffs, it's in the playoffs.
Because
And
they bought their way
yes,
to the playoffs.
because they got their way there. But the team that was actually supposed to be there is not there. In the Constitution, it says if you are an executive member of SAFA, you can own a team. Go and ask them how many of the executive has teams. But it's there
It's in the Constitution.
Yes, in the Constitution. It says you cannot have because you're running football there. That's why we have a lot of dispute where a team of an executive member did not mean, no, this year we are not relegating.
Because
someone's team is protected.
struggling.
It's
and
protected.
now they have to.
There are a lot of governance issues, and I keep on saying this, and it's not for my glory or anything else.
Somebody has to say these
I'm
things.
I'm keeping on saying you can deny Ria Ledwaba to speak, but the issues that I'm speaking about are there for anyone to see. That is this how you run. Let me tell you, in Vembe, an executive of Vembe, one of the best run region that has got sponsors, election were done without them. The president was not there. The general secretary was not there. The executive of SAFA went there, conducted the election, removed them completely.
And carried on.
And it's carrying on.
And so you get an SMS that you're no longer president.
Yeah. They knew there's that and said, but
there was a coup. It sounds like a coup.
Where have you ever seen an election? And remember, this is very key, David, that, look, SAFA has got a national constitution that says it's like SAFA cannot bring articles in the constitution that contradicts FIFA.
Okay.
They never say contradict CAF.
FIFA.
CAF is there, but it's always, it mustn't contradict FIFA. The regions, these 52 regions that I'm talking about, they have their own constitution.
Do these constitutions speak to the main constitution?
You cannot have a constitution that contradicts the national one.
Naturally.
Then the local football, we have got about 343 local footballers. Is the district. They don't know region. We'll have Tshwane.
Inside Tshwane, you'll find smaller.
Yes. So we have 343 local football associations. They also have their own constitution to run the local football association.
Which speaks to...
Yes, but national can't come from national and come and run and disband the local or disband the region. The region must be disbanded by the region. The region must say there are issues that the regions you have the local football association. Those are the members that will form the region from the local football association. So those are the people that must say, but there's something wrong in our region. But it can't be the national coming down and enforce a constitution that against the constitution of the region. But we have seen a number of regions that have been put under administration. Unconstitutional. There is not even anywhere in the constitution of SAFA where it says you can put a region under administration. They're not there.
They're taking it from
They simply say if the region is not running, for example, the national can ask for their financials and go and check and all that and all that. But Many things that I believe, because I've learned from the best. Ntate Taunyan, when I got into football, he sat me down and he said to me, young girl, if you think you're gonna run with the boys, this is the Bible
Read
that I'm
this.
going to give you.
Yeah.
You're going to abide by this Bible. If you read this Bible and know you'll never be manipulated. And that's why I'm never manipulated, because I know the Constitution. I can tell you which article. I know how it's important for that Bible to be abided by the people that have created it.
However, it seems the very people who are meant to govern it
Yes.
and ensure that it's applied are the ones that are breaking it.
No, there's look, this persona non grata. The principle is that yes, the NEC might feel that you have violated any of the articles, or you have brought the association into disrepute. They might have a debate of that nature. But it must be a complaint from somewhere.
Somebody must raise
Somebody
an
must
issue.
have written a letter to the CEO, and the CEO will bring that letter to the NEC and say, help me.
Yes.
And what the NEC should do is to look into the even call that person. They can do that. Present yourself. But we have 7 bodies that are constitutional in terms of the structure of football. One is the judiciary, where any dispute, any kind of, whether you have done what, the NEC has got no bearing, no authority whatsoever
Over the South African law.
over the judicial matter. And it's stated no other 7 of the committee can go and influence the other. It's written in the constitution. You can't do. The NEC is a policy making body. They make policies, period, nothing.
They can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the president must then monitor for us, because the highest body is not the president. The highest decision making is the NEC. So the president is the chair of the NEC, so he must go and monitor what we have decided. But the administration, there must be separation of power. There must be an administrative power, and there must be a political power. So that does not exist in South.
I sit and listen and I wonder where's FIFA in all of this, because they are, as you said, the Constitution answers. They all answer to the FIFA Constitution. Even our calendar runs as part of the FIFA calendar. It started very recently, but that's what we do now. Where's FIFA in when all of this is happening?
Let me explain. FIFA does not interfere.
The same way
Yes.
you shouldn't interfere like Vembe.
Yes. The same way.
Same way.
Yes. When there is an issue in a region, national can't come. They actually write a letter and say, solve your problem in terms of your
Get
statute.
your act together.
Yes. FIFA does not actually interfere into the day-to-day running of the federation. There are only 2 principles that FIFA interferes.
Okay.
It's total collapse of governance and mismanagement of funds. FIFA comes in. Definitely. And they've done it for many federations.
Have they done it for South Africa?
No, not at all. I'm hoping that they'll smell the coffee and see that they're actually not doing South Africa a favor. They're actually taking it down.
Have we reached a point where those 2 factors are applicable, where total collapse of governance, and have we reached that stage yet?
I have written a letter to FIFA before the election and demonstrated to them how I believe the election will not be fair and free. Stipulated the reasons clearly. Pages showing them why I'm saying that, showing them the article, showing them even this constitution that is amended before the election.
Got you.
Yes, but I did not get an answer. But what I remember, FIFA wrote a letter to SAFA and say, explain. But unfortunately, if you don't see what they are saying. If you are caught stealing in your mother's house, and they ask you, but what, you'll try and defend yourself. No. But I think I was not stealing this money. I was just taking it from one drawer to the other drawer. You'll try and come up with something. That's why I feel even the report that FIFA CAF is requesting, I have asked SAFA in my press conference that can they make that public. Yes.
So even in using a very simple example, even your very complaint,
yes,
technically it should have been public.
Yes. Remember when I was removed as a vice president, I was removed because there was WhatsApp fights, NEC WhatsApp fights, where people were actually suspended on the WhatsApp. Let's suspend this one, let's suspend him, and whatever. And as I wrote, because I'm in the group, then I wrote, I said, President, you cannot keep quiet while this is happening.
Rome is burning.
Yes, and this is your WhatsApp group. Can we call an emergency meeting, which is the presidency? Can we call an emergency meeting?
You were saying this in the capacity of vice president.
As vice president. And no answer. No answer. Then what did I do, poor Mrs. Ledwaba Ria? I wrote a letter to the minister. I said, Minister, what I'm seeing in the WhatsApp group will collapse football in this country. I know that you cannot interfere, but you can intervene. I'm asking you to call a meeting just of the presidency and understand what's going on in football. The minister Nati did that. He called that meeting, who were in that meeting, and he explained and said, no, I received a letter from Vice President Ria, and I felt, when I read this letter, I felt that I cannot not act. I called you because I want you to explain to me what's actually happening. And we explain ourselves there. Unfortunately, Ivan was not in that meeting. Gay Mukwena was not in that meeting. It was me, the president, and Compeller from Eastern Cape, vice president. And we late, and I explained why I wrote that letter and all that. Then the minister said, can you have a meeting within the next 14 days and give me a report and sort out your mess? And if you don't sort out your mess, I'll intervene. I'll come and interfere. Nobody will tell me I'm interfering. That's when everything, that's when the fight started.
Was that the beginning of the end for you?
That was the beginning of my battles with SAFA. Then the NEC
What did you do wrong?
Writing a letter to the minister, that was my and stipulating the facts in that, if they were saying, but you are lying to the minister, you are not telling the minister, this is false, this is not. No. They took a decision without seeing the letter. Because the president asked
so they didn't see your letter, they didn't even read your letter.
They saw it somewhere in the paper, but the president wrote me a letter and say, can you provide me with the letter that you wrote to the minister? I said, no, the letter is the letter for the minister. So please request it from the minister.
It wasn't your letter.
But anyway, because we are going to have a meeting of the presidents, I will bring the letter there.
Okay.
Yes, I will bring the letter. I will not send it, but I will bring it in there just as a matter of respect.
What was the result of that letter for you? Completely let go?
No, they removed me.
What was the process of that removal?
No, there was no process.
What happened?
No, they decided right there, no, she's removed.
You're no longer part of this?
No, I'm removed as a vice. They didn't remove me.
Yes, you're no longer part. Yes.
And it was in the media.
What reason did they use in the media?
No, I sent the letter to the minister. Yes, I remember one member even said, she will be remembered as a vice president who was removed. Okay, no, that's fine. But I took them to task. Then I said, no, because there's no procedures here. There is nothing. You have no right to do what you did. Then I took them to arbitration.
How
And
did
remember,
that go?
no, they withdrew. I guess they reinstated me as
And then you came back.
I came back, and
Oh, yeah.
and when I came back, even that decision to remove me was in the NEC, definitely because I was there.
Yes.
You remember when you are removed and you are there, and people talk like you are not there. I bet those NEC members were speaking like I'm not in that meeting.
Sure.
Yes, but I endured because maybe this spiritual person in me,
Yeah.
keep on saying, there are some battles are not yours. I prayed before I went to the meeting, and I will say, God, just give me the wisdom to be able to not go there and not be afraid to talk. Give me that ability to talk. I know no one is going to listen to what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. And that's what I did. Then I was removed. Then I'm sure their lawyers told them, you're making a big mistake. You're going to make a mockery of yourself at the arbitration. Then, boom, in the morning, I'm sitting at home. I see the media. I didn't even get a letter. That letter came after the media announcement that Ria has been reinstated as a vice president.
You didn't even get a letter. You saw it on TV.
I saw it on TV, and then my lawyer sent me the letter later on and said, this crisis of your organization. No, I know.
Sure. And you're not the first to complain to FIFA in terms of governance.
No.
Because I think former CEO Dennis Mamble also complained, and even Gay Mukwen also complained.
Yeah. And the issues that Dennis raised in the report will still be there. They can remove Dennis, they can remove Ria, they can remove Gay. The issues that those two CEOs raised in their report. There's another one from the other vice president who is not a vice, so probably is also disgruntled that he's not a vice. That's what they say in the response. The response is not even from anyone, it's from the president. That you are, and he showed him the votes were this, you were voted out, you got only 8 votes when this one got this one. So he's raising issues again.
Yeah.
The same issues that we're raising. He's raising those issues. But the answer that no, Bafana, they're in Algeria, Bafana have done well, and now you are bitter because you got only 8 votes, and so got. But what does that
have to do with this?
With the issues that this former vice president is talking about? And I keep on reminding them, and I'm sure they are listening all the time. I'm saying, as long as the NEC is gonna not do anything about the issues that people are raising, and just generalize them by calling people disgruntled and all that, those issues will still remain.
It seems like being disgruntled is the common reason for people to be removed, or because it seems like that's the reason they gave. Oh, he's disgruntled, that's why he's behaving this way.
And that's what they tell the journalists. So journalists say, no, don't tell us about Ria. She's bitter. She has lost election. There were no election. What election? You don't go to South Africa. We are going to the election. They are on the ground.
Yes, there's posters everywhere.
They're going house to house. That's how elections are done. Not in SAFA. In SAFA, you go to the election with no voter. You have spoken to no voter. How do I go there? And people might ask, but why did she go there if she knows who they? Sometimes you do things because you know the rules. They are constitutional things that you can go to the election. If you have issues, you will be able to raise them in the Congress, and you can still raise them after.
Yes.
Because you have raised them before. And I did. When I said the governance committee that was not appointed in terms of the statutes also. We just saw the paper I think they were in I can't remember whether it was Sunday Times or City Press. Wake up, I'm the vice president. I see the names there. Sidney Mafumadi, Tumi Makhabu, they are the governance committee. They didn't even know. They only saw their names there in the paper. Then, boom, they are brought into the Congress. They are introduced there. But Sydney, I don't know whether he refused, whether he was ever asked. We don't know.
What, did he make it? Was he part of that?
No, he would never.
Didn't?
No, he didn't. Tumi didn't.
Huh.
Yes, Tumi didn't. But
do you think they were just handpicked?
No, because there were three. It was Sydney, it was Mukhatjani, and the Constitution says no government employees will form part of football. And he's the HOD of sports in Northwest. It doesn't allow him, the Constitution, to be there.
Sure.
So you ask yourself, for even these people that are called, are they not asking a constitution to see?
Can I
go through a constitution? And no. They are there. 2 are not there. They are introduced in the.
But they're not present in this introduction.
Was there because he was even given an opportunity to speak.
Okay.
But the 2 were not there. And there was another, to me, the other lady who's a lawyer. Yes, there were 4. Then 2 are not there. Boom, receive a letter from SAFA. There are 2 additional members. And then I wrote. I said, but these 2, where do they come from? Never got an answer.
This is too much.
It's too much of no governance at that organization. It pains some of us that wants to leave a legacy of what we have started and say, what are we leaving? These young chaps going to fight the same. If they want to be in football, you just told me you are a supporter.
I'm a fan. I love South African soccer.
Yes. If somebody wants to nominate your name and say, but we believe he has got capacity, we believe he can change the situation, why not? Then there is this thing also that says, no, for you to be nominated, you must have served 10 years.
Doing what?
I don't know. It doesn't really say.
Except 10 years playing soccer or loving soccer.
No.
Is that good enough?
You must have saved.
Somewhere.
So, but I'm saying, if I play football, am I not saving?
Yes.
I'm saving football. So, you can't tell Morbu Luka say they didn't save football. They must go and be in an LFA first. Yes, it is correct to say, Lucas, if you want to be in the forefront,
understand
educate,
the groundwork.
Empower yourself with the Constitution so that you understand. You can't say, no, we are not given an opportunity. No. You are given the opportunity by the Constitution. Not anybody, and nobody must give you read that Constitution and then you understand it. Then you know you have. When I was elected, nominated, I was not serving anyway. According to them. Yes.
You were just
Mara, I know.
Like me.
A lot of them wouldn't put the CV that I have in football because I served football, but I was not in a particular structure, and I was in. Then they brought another one. No, before you are nominated for president, you must be nominated by a province where you come from. Nonsense. Why, if I serve at national, why should I be nominated by a province?
Yeah.
I must be nominated by people that are in football.
It sounds Mickey Mouse, though.
No, because this amendments are strategically amended before the Constitution to suit a particular vision. No.
What is that vision in your perspective?
The disgruntled NEC members must never come back.
So it's to keep them out.
But those people were vice president. Why shouldn't they come back? They were vice president, respected by all of us. But now, because you are out, you are no more a member. I have no local standing. For me, it's craziness, honestly, to say somebody who was the vice president immediately after the election, you do not. Now
Yeah,
you
just
see
get
that
discarded.
the president of this country still receive their rewards, they still benefit, they still have security, they still, those benefits don't go away because you are no more the president of the
No,
country.
no.
So if you are a vice president, why would you not be counted as someone who can come and challenge? You know, now you must be in some kind of structure.
What is the role of SASCOC?
SASCOC is the custodian of football of sports in the
Okay.
country in terms of the South African Constitution.
It's a government body.
It's a government body
Okay.
created by government.
Okay.
But they monitor the performance of all federation, including SAFA.
Do they play a role in the shenanigans? And I'll use that phrase that's happening. By playing a role, do they have a role to oversee?
They do. They have all the powers to do so. But you see, everyone is scared away by FIFA does not want government interference.
Ah.
Yeah. That and
That
then
phrase alone.
Yeah, that phrase, and then the minister can't do anything because if the minister come in, FIFA will ban, and they do. If government interferes, FIFA they ban. Zimbabwe was one of them. Yes.
But then doesn't that limit the powers that SASCOC should be able to exercise?
It is the responsibility of SASCOC to write to FIFA
Uh-huh.
and say, we have an issue
Yeah.
with one of your federation, and we would not want to interfere, do some act.
Is SASCOC effective though?
I think they are, but I don't know why they are not acting. Maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe there are letters going around now because I saw the minister talking about, I'm waiting for an explanation, and it can probably be an explanation from SAFA. It must be an explanation from SASCOC.
Basically, SASCOC, go check what's going on there, come back.
Not this new executive, the previous one. Some what does it call? The president of SASCOC then. They did do a request for a forensic audit
Of
SAFA.
yes.
Yo. It was like, no, who are SASCOC to tell us what to do? They can't tell us that. And no, they must check their own finances. But there was a letter to SAFA to say, and basically because of the issues we're talking about today, but nothing happened after that. Nothing happened after that. I wish this crisis can go away, honestly.
What is the root source, Ledwaba, of this crisis?
The
There has
leader.
to be.
I think the president has created a pattern of non-governance.
Here you're
Because
talking about Danny Jordaaan.
Yes, I'm talking about. He has created a platform for even the regions to do exactly what is happening in national. They do that. I'm telling you, the regions, there are so many complaints. SASCOC is sitting with a dossier of a number of regions. And the moment SASCOC goes to SAFA, those regions are called individually, withdraw.
So national says, hey,
Yeah.
take that thing away.
Yeah, you withdraw. If you want to receive anything from us, withdraw that. So people are afraid, and I'm not surprised that even some of the NEC because there are men and women there that I think they have the capacity to stand up and say enough is enough. But they're afraid. The moment you can stand up, I can guarantee you're out.
You are a perfect example.
You are here where I am. It's cold in there. Very cold. Outside here we are
side?
free. We are
Which side is cold? Inside or outside?
No, inside.
Inside it's cold.
No, it's very cold. Because people are deprived an opportunity. Maybe let me not say they are deprived. Are afraid to raise their voices.
But what do you fear? Do you fear
Victimization?
Yeah, and losing.
Yes, you're losing the flights and the honorarium.
That's why I said, is it really that? It's not that special.
Why are we poor? This poverty, poverty, it's a sin. Poverty, it's a sin. When people can sell their souls
for a flight.
Yeah. And when he's not there, they meet with you. No, Mam Ria, no, this thing must stop. It's nonsense. It's can't. But and because I know they are saying what they are saying because they see me out there, I never comment because it means nothing. What they are telling me means nothing because they are there. They are not doing anything about it.
So you've seen moments when people you knew, they were going to choose this side before the meeting.
Yeah.
You've seen them change their mind and choose this side.
No, they told me. During the election, they would say to me, Mam Ria, we would want to vote for you. But can you just allow us to nominate the president and not nominate your name? Because of the fear of victimization. But we'll vote for you.
Isn't it a secret vote?
It's a secret vote.
Then why is there so much fear? Because if it's a secret vote, even if you're a dictator, you won't know what you won't see it coming.
There is a way of knowing who voted, who didn't. For the ballot papers, because the numbers did not tie up, you have more votes than the people that were in there.
Is that what happened in your election?
No, definitely. But I didn't want to talk about that. I asked, can I see the ballot? And they were never given to me.
How are the elections administered? Is it like we used to the IEC? How are your elections administered?
The constitution says now that the change constitution.
New one?
The new one.
After your elections?
The new one when I was there.
Okay.
Normally it was the electoral. Even the IEC. Did our vote at some point, but they withdrew during ACE because ACE wrote them a letter to say, in terms of the constitution of SAFA, you have no rule.
The IEC has no rule.
The IEC, and they withdrew. They say, no, we won't do that. We are not going to take part. So in the new constitution that was amended before the election, it says the governance committee, the chairperson of the governance committee will run the election. They were run by Tselane.
Wow.
Yeah, they were not run by the
chairperson of the.
And in their court papers,
what was Tselane's role? What was Tselane's role?
Was running the election.
Yeah, but Kira, I get it. They were saying it'll be run by the chairperson of the government committee. Yes. Yeah, not Tselane. He was just an independent person.
No, he was brought in to come and run. Elections all the time.
Course, yes.
So he was there to run the election. But the constitution of SAFA
is clear.
Very clear. There is no way where it says the governing committee can delegate someone to run the election. No. It is and in their papers, court papers, continuously lied that the elections were not run by Tselane. They were run by the chairperson of the governance committee.
And that's not what happened?
No, that's not what happened. They said Tselane only helped.
Yeah,
Tselane didn't help. He ran the election. I even called him after the election because I wanted to see the ballot.
The results.
Yes, and he said, because in terms of the statutes, they should be kept for the next 5 years. And why they are kept for the next 5 years? If I have a dispute about their election, then I can still do it within that time. So that's the journey that we travel, some of us.
What do you say to the thought that comes to mind that says, "But you lost, and that's you lost a fair fight. You lost against an experienced fighter that knows how to fight this game, and that's just that. You should just walk away happily and move on with your life."
That's why I have not challenged the election. I've
Okay.
challenged the procedures, the appointment of the governor, because it can't be left unchallenged. It is the future of our children that are going to be left with a constitution that is not amended properly, procedurally. So I'm simply saying the issues that I've raised, the appointment of these members, they were not done. Any appointment, the regents receive a notice. There is this position of the what, send the names if you have the names of a capable person in your region that can serve in that, that never happened. Yeah, so I'm not challenging any of the election, not at all. And they keep on saying, no, she lost. This case is about, she was bringing a case to challenge the election. That's not true. I after the election, my dispute was before the election, remember. Went to the election. I sent SAFA a letter to say I want my dispute to be referred to an arbitrator, and I paid. What SAFA's responsibility in that case is to, they don't look at whether there is substance or no substance. That's not their responsibility. Their responsibility is to refer my matter to an arbitration, appoint. Then the arbitrator must come and say, there is no substance. You do not have local stand. End of story.
Not them.
Not them. So I went to court to compel them to abide by their constitution. That's what I did. I went there and said, Article 58 is very clear. It says an individual may refer their dispute directly to the arbitrator. That's what I used. I said, this article allow me as an individual to be able to do so. And
is that what happened? So nothing happened?
No, they refused. And then I went to court. I lost. Yes, I lost. And
but what do you think you lost? If your points were valid,
there are many errors. That's why we are appealing. We have appealed against that decision, and SAFA has put a notice to oppose. But they still write me a letter after they've given us notice that they're given the court the notice that they are going to oppose. But then they still write on the 6th and refer to the judgment that is appealed. So for me, it's a demonstration to every South African that this organization has lost it. They are personal. They are not abiding by their constitution. Abuse of power, indeed, when they say power corrupts, and I
absolutely.
Believe that, yeah.
What is Mr. Danny Jordaan's leadership style, in your opinion? As someone that not only worked with him, worked alongside him, what have you observed?
His word is final. Let me put it that way.
But isn't that a good sense of leadership when you say we're turning left and that's it?
No.
Somebody has to lead this.
No. And leadership is about taking everybody that is below you. If you have an executive, let this executive support what you are doing. You can't write me a letter and say, by the decision of the NEC, and there was no NEC meeting. I said to the media, I want you to go and ask SAFA to give you the notice of that meeting.
The minutes of that meeting?
No, I don't even care about the minutes.
Yes.
Just the notice.
Whether the meeting took place or not.
Yes. The CEO will write a notice and say there's a meeting of the NEC. Either visual or physical, that will happen. Now, on the 19th, I receive a letter that says, we regret that we've written you a letter. Now it's no more the NEC, it's the lawyers. The lawyers don't run SAFA. Legal people will advise. That advice will go to the NEC. The NEC will make their call, and then the CEO of SAFA does not implement decisions of the lawyers. Doesn't work that way. She implements the decision of the NEC. That's what if she write that letter by the NEC, I know it's not her. She's just signing as an administrator.
That's it.
And I can't go and say, but why do you sign a letter when you know there was no NEC meeting?
Yes.
Sometimes this meeting, they might happen and she was not there. She was not called. So when she's told the NEC has made a decision and she writes a letter because she's an accounting officer of SAFA, she will be able to do that. So for me, these two letters demonstrate how our organization has collapsed. Total in terms of governance. They've collapsed.
His word is final. I get a sense of dictatorship. I'm the boss.
Yes.
You do what I say, nothing else. No one questions me.
You can't question DANNY JORDAAN, never. And still be in the same page with him. No. You never challenge him on anything. If he says something and someone challenges it, you are in trouble. They can tell you all those, and if they are honest, they will tell you. They will never. If he challenges, he can chop you right there. Who do you think you are? You come here. Let me give you an example. There was the Women's Committee, which is not in the Constitution.
Okay.
It's removed completely.
It was at some point.
Yeah, it was. It's part of football. Women's football, you cannot not have it. Even FIFA has got that. So there's a school sports. School sports come and give a name of an individual and say, we want this individual to be appointed to run school sports. Okay. A very capable man that I believe he has been there, he has been in sports, he can run school sports. Done. Monday, Tuesday gets his appointment late. Women's football, this chairperson, first time chairing, she was not even accepting to chair. She said, no, we'll be there, we all learn.
We'll help you.
We'll help you. She comes and reports in the NEC that we believe that women's football, it's not properly coordinated. Can we appoint, and somebody who's working for SAFA at that moment. We have this woman who has gone to many courses of FIFA. We believe she can be the one that is a coordinator from the office.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That woman, it was her first meeting as a chairperson of women's football. I'm telling you, oh my God. She was chopped to nothing. You must never come to my meeting and with a name.
Whoa.
You can't come to my meeting with a name of an individual and you want this meeting to... But they just appointed someone from school sports that was brought the same way.
Yeah. What was the result of that meeting?
That person was never appointed. Women football never had a coordinator. Fran Hamilton Smith was trying her best as a technical person to try and coordinate women's football, but we never really had a coordinator, somebody that the clubs out there they can call to the office and be, because we're saying women's football is it's like when you have a small baby at home.
You look after them.
The other boys and girls, they've been there. We concentrate on this baby. Football was a baby.
The women's
and it's
football.
still a baby,
yes.
even now. It needs to be nurtured. That's why we have established the National League. We're hoping at some point.
You've led the National League.
Oh, of course I did. Of course I did. Because I went through the provinces, each provinces. I've taken women with me that are in football, not necessarily in the executive, but in football. And I've traveled this whole country with them to go and meet not with the officials, but with the owners of the team. What is it that you want to see when we talk about the national team? They told us. And that league was perfect, was established, ran. That's why it's still running even now so perfectly.
What are some of the challenges with regards to some of the top teams establishing women's sides?
I think now FIFA has put send a notice to all the teams in all countries that for you to be able to play in the Champions League,
The men's side.
you have to have a women's team. So they are compelled.
So sooner or later they're going to have
Yeah,
these.
obviously, I don't think I'm sure they giving them time to be able to establish that, because it also costs. There will be cost implication there. So probably, I don't know. I don't think they put a time frame or by when. But that is the PSL team know that they have to
At some point.
yeah, we even suggested to some of the team, go and approach this team. You are in their area. Let them have some kind of joint venture,
Because you don't have to start from scratch.
Yes,
you can convert a team into.
Yes, they can convert. You can have your own agreement. That's what we were encouraging from the teams in Sasol and the teams that are playing now in the National League. Or identify some teams, have somebody, a marketer. Don't do it on your own, because you wouldn't know where to touch. Get a marketer, somebody who's in the marketing industry, to put up a business plan for you that you can be able to sell to a team. And I think that's what the teams are doing now.
Legacy 2010.
Yeah.
I've had stories. I've had Bofan Valley, man. I've had all sorts of monies. Almost 500 million or more.
6.
Oh, 6. That was at some point.
400 and something plus interest from the bank.
It gained interest while the money was just sitting there.
About 150, yeah.
I've heard of stories that there was actually mukotla, man, money sitting somewhere.
Not that one I read it like you. I normally avoid talking about the things that I read about.
Because you don't know whose version you're reading.
I don't know, because I am a strong believer that there are 3 sides of the story. It's your story, my story, and the truth.
That's true.
Yeah, so the truth is only discovered somewhere.
Yeah.
You never get to the truth.
So you never quite understood, because you were still part of the administration of.
I was a trustee of the trust.
Whoa.
Yes, I was a trustee.
And what happened to the money from the point of view of the trustee?
Look, I know the procedure. Organizations, individuals, bursaries, they will apply and will sit. Remember, in the trust, it was 4 members of SAFA and 3 members of FIFA.
Okay.
So the CFO of FIFA is a member of the trust. So we'll gather there, have a meeting, look at the applications, approve them based on what we believe. And the general manager then will then distribute those funds to all those organizations. We have seen the letter, we have approved, it goes. Then the next meeting, the General Secretary will come and give us the report. This organization that has applied for funds, they've received their money, is there in the report for everyone to see. What I am speaking about is when we then decided that we are dissolving the
Trust.
because there is no funds any longer. And in that meeting, it was on the 16th of April 2021 when that decision was taken. I was in that meeting. And I said, trustees, yes, we are dissolving because there's only 45 million rand left in the trust. Can we, at least for the first time, can we be provided with these 4 bank accounts? Just the statement for us to satisfy ourselves that there's 0 balance in Nedbank, there's 0 balance in this account, there's 0 balance in this. It was approved.
That decision, yes.
And then we said, and there were other things that we said. For example, there was money that should go to the local football association. And we were told they are not in compliance, some of them. So if you are not in compliance, then SARS would have a problem for us to pay somebody that is not. Then we said, how long will it take to assist this local football association to be in compliance so that they can receive this 20,000 rand each? No, it will take like 14 days. Okay, then can we then call the last meeting after 14 days so that we can be able to satisfy ourselves with the bank statement that indeed we are only left with 45 million rand, and the application before us, 5 million was to dissolve so that people who were working there can be, all the things that needs to be done. But the 40 million rand, all of it was applied by SAFA. Specifically for projects. 1, men's regional league. It was even there was a breakdown. Trophies, prize money, accommodation, reveries, transport, and men's regional league, women's regional league, regional support. 7 million rand for regional leagues, 6 million rand for women's regional league, 7 million rand for regional support, 10 million rand for the National League, Women's National League, 9 million rand for High Performance Center. I remember the figures very clearly.
This is to finish up.
To
finish up the remaining money.
Yes. Then we agreed. 14 days we'll meet. Within that 14 days, an NEC meeting was called. And when we get there, the president stood there and said, FIFA called to say we must remove some members of the trustees. And I remember very well, one member stood up there and said, by the way, who are the trustees?
They didn't even know.
And then they said, no, it's Ria, it's Elvis, it's Danny, it's this, is the president. No, and there's one independent person that was appointed by SAFA. We were all for removing, including the president.
Was there a letter like that from FIFA?
No, there was never a letter from FIFA.
So why was he saying this?
And even in the document of the trust, it says if FIFA has to do something, it has to be in writing. Yes. So in that meeting, I said nothing. I did not say anything because I believed that the NEC does not have any authority to do anything. They can recommend to the trust. Remember, we are an independent board. They can only recommend to the trust to say, we recommend that these people should be removed because of 1, 2, 3. So my view was that in the 14 days we'll go to a meeting. This recommendation will be brought to the trust, and the trust will make that determination. No. Then we received letters.
That you are out?
Out. And I wrote a letter, said, but, okay, give me the bank statement. I've requested the bank statement. I've requested that. We never received them. Never. I've been a trustee. I've never seen a bank statement of the trustee. I have no idea whether the 45 million was the only money that was left. I would not tell South Africans that I have seen a bank statement. Equally, those NEC, they've never seen the bank statement of SAFA.
Let's increase the amount to the 500 million.
Yeah.
So you were a trustee even before the 45 million.
No, definitely.
So for us to get to 45 million, there must have been a lot of expenditures.
Yeah, of course.
And were those managed well?
I've explained that it's only now at the end when you ask question and you start asking yourself, oh, there, back there, did we really do
checks and balances?
Because we relied on the person who brings the report to say this, because we had reports. Beautiful reports that shows the bursaries that were given to everyone.
But
I'm afraid because I have asked in the NEC, President, NEC member, there's approval of your money. And I calculated it because at the time I was talking about 14 million rand, which is the main. And I know there was another 7 million rand. It was about 21 million rand. That 21 million rand divided by 52. That was the amount that each region must have received for that competition. Remember, when we say men's competition, we mean that year. If it's not used that year, at least it must be used in 2022.
The following
then
year.
The answer was no, but we gave them 150,000 rand each. I said, no, President, that was COVID-related funds that was paid directly by the trust to the regions. I'm talking about the decision that we took on the 16th. Then there was no answer there. But I have seen a letter that was written by the CFO, because I think SAFA, again FIFA, asked.
What's going on?
Yes, because when we were removed, the CFO of FIFA wrote a letter to SAFA and said, it doesn't make sense to me. Why would you remove people when we are left with one meeting? Please reverse that decision.
Was anything done?
No, it wasn't. President said, no, we are not going to be told by an employee of FIFA what to do. We are a federation, we are independent, we are not going to be told by anyone. And I don't know how it ended because I'm not there.
I'm really curious, and I'm sure most watching will ask this question about the bigger amount,
Yes.
the 400, 500 million, before we get to 45. And they'll ask it very simply by saying, what was done with that money? And I ask this because if we ask, we are members of Stokvel.
Yeah.
We are donating, or not donating, we are contributing 100 rands every month. And we know it goes to the bank account. And every meeting,
Little bank account.
that's it. Every meeting starts with that. You know, itomagabudi matters are rising.
Yes.
You know those issues. And then the subcommittee of finance.
Bank book.
That's it. We show it. The bank book. You take us back to false cars. We open the bank book and we say, again, we all contributed this month.
Yeah.
There's a little problem here, but we've spoken to him. He said he'll pay double next month.
Yeah.
And last month we had 500 rand. This time we have 700 rand. Here it is for everyone to see. In the world of the WhatsApp, people rumela ka di WhatsApp.
Yeah. Simple.
Between 500 million and 45.
In nine years.
Yes, from World Cup.
Yeah. 2019. I agreed it like 2011 now.
Exactly. Yeah. Was there ever a Stokvel meeting like that where bank accounts were explained and everybody knew how much is in there?
No, obviously, even that, when I raised that issue of the bank statement, the general manager said, but Mrs. Ledwaba, you received the financial statement every time. And I said, but the financial statement is not the bank account. You know, and
because the financial statement is put together by
somebody who gives the figures. You know, you give the figures. We know the financial statement is what you give, and you'll see the auditors will say what we have given here is what we know. If there's anything that there's always that statement by the auditors that will say to to say if there's anything that is going to come, they can't be held responsible.
Because they didn't know.
Yes, because they didn't know. So I said, no, I hear you. Yes, we have the financial statement, but we have agreed, can we see the bank statement? It was, you could see where people are not comfortable with that at all.
So throughout the entire funds of the legacy,
yes,
no one beyond a certain number of people actually got to see the financial, not the financial statement, the bank account.
The bank account, yes.
And said, now there's 20 rand, now there's 15 rand, now this is what we did.
And you can go through.
And the expenses.
Bank account is available 2,000. Nyana ka mogare o kgona bona ro berekisitse 500 mo.
Na le go ATM-eng ko kae kae o ntshitse 100 rand.
Yes. So
none of that.
I have never seen that bank statement. Never.
What?
Yeah, but look, Fun Valley, you spoke about Fun. It's the money of the world.
Was bought. Bought Fun Valley.
Yeah, it's the money. We paid 60-something million rand for that. 67 million rand to be specific.
For a specific project, obviously.
For Fun Valley.
Yes, but it was intended to do something.
Yeah, but you remember there was a valuation of that property which is worth 30 million rand. But
so you paid more than double for it.
We did, and I think I saw that request by an auditor was saying, but this doesn't make sense. Even in the municipality, the property is worth 10 million rand, but it was bought with 45 million rand. But it was a decision that was taken almost just when the meeting was ending. Said, no, there's this place that I want all of you to go and see, and then the NEC went there to go and see it. I remember very well. I did not go because I'll continuously ask her, but why don't you? Who did the
evaluation?
The evaluation. Who did? Can we check why is this person selling this place?
And. Because I'm puzzled a little bit. If we are all deciding as a society, I go back to that simple example. For now, we want to buy student accommodation.
Yeah.
We have 3 million.
Yes.
And we've identified some student accommodation next to Vista University. We want to buy it and we have the funds for it. It's worth that much. Surely as a collective, there must be... Yes, we all agree on this decision.
Yeah.
And we're all happy with the paperwork that supports the decision, its value and so forth and so forth. And also it's a projected revenue, all that. So who was the committee, the Fun Valley Committee, if I should call it that?
No. As far as I'm concerned, there was never a Fun Valley committee. Remember, SAFA has got committees, finance committee and what. So those are the committees that make recommendation. Yeah. In fact, they make decision, and those decision must be ratified in the NEC. So the NEC don't run SAFA. It's the committees that run SAFA. We have got marketing.
Administratively.
Yeah, you have got that. And then you will have members even outside the NEC, the president of other regional secretaries, they are serving there. And the matters will be taken to the NEC. If the NEC agrees, and then it's a decision. If they don't agree, it goes back to the committee. The committee must go and debate it once again and be able to do that.
So in your opinion, who made the decision to buy Fun Valley?
It was the president. Agri.
On his own?
Agri came there and tell us, I've got money. I got you money to let's go and see that place.
We're buying this thing.
Yeah. And obviously it was there. It's there in the recording.
Was Fun Valley ever, did it achieve whatever intention?
I don't think so. It's in the outskirts there. The junior national team, the intention was good, but the area where the place is, it's not a good area. It was an entertainment area, and the community there believes it must remain an entertainment because that's where they do their swimming and parties and what have you.
The park, the park.
Yes. I mean, we could have there at Safa House. There's a space where we park cars when there's Pirates and Chiefs games, big games. Don't you think we should have bought that place
Right next
spoken
to.
right there? Because people who come to the stadium for the games, there will be income, But
What was the intention with the Fun Valley?
the intention was good because the intention was for all our junior teams, we shouldn't be paying hotels.
Okay.
The courses, we should have meetings there. The NEC should have a meeting there. We mustn't be paying Hilton Hotel for the meeting. We have never had a meeting there, not once.
Oh. So it's never really being used.
No, it's used. I was once called by the Banyana. They called me to Fun Valley. I went there. They said, we are calling you to tell you, as the vice president, woman vice president, we will never sleep here again.
Because?
If we sleep here, Bafana must come and sleep here. Because there is a lot of disturbance. There are people who are booked here. There's just too many things that are happening here. People are drunk. We are afraid of a lot of things that could happen to us. And that was the last time there. I even called Dennis. I said, you come and listen to the girls. Never put them there. And that's why they've never slept there. But that place, if it was in a good area, the intention was an intention that could have brought revenue to the association, because we don't have revenue. Our revenue is sponsors. If the sponsors, remember we had a sponsor with SABC, 100 and something million rand, boom, down to 10 million.
Boom.
And we were left with nothing, So I'm just saying, for me, the intention was good because it was going to help us to generate some funds and to be able to, not only generating funds because it's an entertainment, still an entertainment. People still go there. But is there
it's
any
not soccer related.
No, is there a speed point? I've spoken about that in a lot of... How can we have cash? People pay cash there.
Where does the cash go?
Yes, but can you control cash?
Yeah.
Why don't we have a speed point? Money goes directly to the association. We can check it. But cash, people can... oh, my God.
Let's conclude the legacy thing
Yes.
and with a very simple question. Legacy by its nature is what happens beyond this point. Now we're leaving a lasting legacy for future generations. Legacy speaks to what happens beyond this beautiful Philip is here. You remember? That
beautiful 2010 World Cup.
That we will remember for years to come. It's a generation that will always remember that moment.
Yeah.
Was there a legacy really left behind by that World Cup that connects directly to South African soccer?
Nothing. Yes, people did degrees. It's not a tangible thing that you will see. Yes, there are people that have got degrees. They've done their work. Other NGOs have benefited. Fun Valley has been bought, but I'm saying if 52 regions that have no offices, no playing field, nothing. Couldn't we just have take 2 million or 3 million each region and say, this is the plan? So-and-so constructing company, can you partner with us? Go and build similar offices, all 52 regions, have 2 fields or 3 fields there where our boys can practice, they can pay for that, there's revenue for the region, and a kiosk nyana moli. They go there and buy a cold drink, generating money for the regions. Nothing.
Sure.
They still struggle with offices every day in, week in. They are kicked out of the offices because they can't pay rental. They don't have the money. Agrisafa must give them 35,000 rent a month. It comes when they have money. And if they don't have money, the regions are left with nothing. So So
the legacy is...
That legacy could have done a lot of things, the DG of sports was a member, never attended one single meeting. He wrote a letter to say no. He feels this legacy could have we could have dealt with it a better way. It could have benefited, left a legacy, and he feels the way it's distributed, it would not leave any legacy. That's why he never attended one meeting.
What is the state of South Africa's soccer?
It's at a collapse at the state of there's no football. There's no. It's what is played in the region. It's what we call a regional league. Clubs are there. It's clubs that are there that wants to play football. And obviously they will register. They will go and play that. If you go to the regions and check, they will be there. There was once under 13. The Legacy Trust paid money for under 13. Where is it? Where is
non-existent?
Yeah. Where's that? High Performance Center. When I started that program, I had 25 girls that were staying together, going to school together, and that's why we have the best national teams of women. Today, when they requested that 9 million rand, and I only realized when I went through the breakdown to see that in that application, SAFA said 25 girls, but there are now 13 girls there. There are no 25 girls there.
What happened to that?
When I was there was even Lotto paying directly to the High Performance Center. Program run probably. There was a change. I can't remember how that change came. Money for lottery went to SAFA, and you still hear they still owing, but there was a 9 million rand. And if 9 million rand was approved for High Performance Center, why should it need to be paid to High Performance Center 9 million? Why should you pay 5 million? Because I said I saw a letter from the CFO responding probably to the CFO of FIFA that yes, we are paying it in tranches. When we receive it, we keep on paying and all that. But that needs to be tested. If the regions have received that 21 million, the 52 regions have, as we speak today, have already received that 21 million rand divided into 52. Yes.
Do you know, I asked the question, what is the state of soccer in South Africa, from a perspective of someone who sits in the stands and watches the game.
Yeah.
And it's an exciting league with teams that are doing really, really well and teams that are struggling, really struggling, some of them. And you sit back and wonder, it looks like it's not sick.
Yeah.
If it was a human body, it's okay, but it's not doing okay. It's and then you sit and wonder, but surely where it's going is not very far in terms of getting it really running well.
Yes.
And that's why I ask it from both angles of us as South Africans who are consuming it, and you as administrators that are administering it. And I use you as an example in this context. What is the state of it? Like, is it well run? Let's answer those questions very simply. Is it well run?
It can never be well run when there is no respect for the statutes.
Okay, that are within it.
It can only be run when the statutes are respected. If there is no respect for the statutes, there is no way football will be able to run.
Okay.
School sports, you are running 52 regions. You have 343. Why take school sports? Why burden? There was an associate member that was running school sports. We were not happy. We were saying we're not happy. Only about 30 schools are participating. Why are the other schools? Which was a fair remark. But call them to a meeting and discuss with them why we would want to see more of the schools playing school. You are doing that. All the sponsors. All this insurance company were sponsoring that associate member.
And now,
the moment SAFA took it, why did those sponsors, all of them, not come to partner
Yeah.
with the association. They didn't. They all left. All of them left. So we can never say, and I listen to radio interviews during sports time. South Africans have been complaining. They're complaining day in, day out and say, "Bana soka ya rena bathong."
What is
Development of football.
yes, I'm
If
getting
you look
there.
at the PSL, I would say you see progress. You see, even with the grants that they're getting, when I was there, we're getting 200. Now
Back in the Ria Stars days.
Yes, they were getting that much. But look at the standard now. You can see. I mean, for me to watch that game of Pirates and Chiefs was like, oh my God, we're back to the basics. Now these young boys can play football. It was marvel to watch football, and the supporters were thrilled to be able, because supporters don't want anything. They want to see goals. They want to see football. They want to see Bafana not skipping years of not going to AFCON. South Africa should be number one there. We should be able to show the continent that we have hosted the World Cup. We've won.
What's the African nations?
We have brought the World Cup in Africa, So we must be a leader. We cannot struggle to get to AFCON. Now the junior leagues, all of them, they fail to qualify. And it's not because we do not have talent. We do have talent in South Africa. But the structure, how we bring these junior teams, and ask you, why are all junior teams of South African football not sponsored? Why not? Why?
What is the reason, from your observation?
I don't know. I have no idea, because I still say there was a time where we requested, can we be given a responsibility to go out and get sponsors for women? That's how America did it. They did not break away from the federation. They simply says we want to be on our own within the federation and run women's football. That's why they became the best, better than men.
True.
It's how they ran it. So you need a structure that will be able, marketers that have been there in the market, to be able to go there and be able, and also all these things that we are talking about, it's not doing any good to the federation, because the partners, the sponsor that we want, are listening.
Of course.
Are busy listening. We say,
it doesn't look good there.
It doesn't look good there. But it pains some of us, because it's depriving that young boy, that young girl that has got talent to play, and there is no support from the corporate world, because they look at the crisis, they look at all these things that are happening, and they're saying, is it good to associate ourselves with them? And I just wish the NEC could understand that what we are talking about, it's not personal. We are just raising the issues that are there, that we believe as leaders of football are elected to do exactly that. They must look at the issues that people are talking about. They must look at the issues we are raising and say, are these issues that need to be addressed? If there are issues, maybe there are some issues that they believe are not important to listen to. But for me, have a listening ear. Just have a listening ear and be able to look at it and say, guys, are we doing well here? We can do better. I think South Africa can do much, much, much. You have seen just when Bafana just got a bronze.
Sure.
This country was like, we got gold.
What do you think that was? That Bafana got that far?
I think they showed some skills, those boys. Resilience. They fought a good fight.
But what inspired them? What was different about this particular team compared to others that failed
I
so
think
much?
they just wanted to change the mindset of South Africa that they are not good enough. Yeah, I think those players, when I don't know if they've got a psychologist there who motivate them. And when I traveled with the team, I always have a psychologist, somebody, because they come from different backgrounds. You want them to be in one mind, thinking the same thing. So I just think those players are, and if you look at the team, it's almost 80% Sundowns. They're winners.
Yeah.
They win all the time. You know, they've been in the Champions League. You know, they live this winning they've got a winning mentality. So I just thought these players were there to demonstrate to South Africans, or we can change the status quo. We can show you that indeed there are good players in South Africa that can stand the test of time.
It is often said Sundowns' success is largely because of money. You've been in soccer long enough to remember the 200 rands days when players used to get nothing after time. And now we're dealing with players that are earning hundreds of thousands of rands in this country. And I look at soccer around the world, and I agree with the statement that soccer is a big boys game. If you don't have Nyuku, you're in the wrong space. You'll never really make it to the top. If you look at the English league and all of other leagues.
Yes.
What do you say to that commentary that says Sundowns' success is nothing but money? If without money, they wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, money is one part of it. Yeah, those players they have families, they need money and all that. But there's also the structure of the team, the management of the team. It's key to the success. Those players must feel they are in a professional team, in a team that they can be proud of, wear that outfit when they get into that field of play. But money, that's because they want to be paid. You know, when I can guarantee you that when I was in the first division, when Chico joined me as a director,
partner, so to speak. Yes.
We were paying those boys 500 rand today.
Yeah,
500. Yeah. No, a win.
Oh,
a team win. Then Chico came and said, no, we can't pay the players 500 rand. Let's at least pay them 1,000 rand. You know, and then if they win 4 games, they get another 1,000. So they had 5,000 rand.
But they had a salary.
No,
they were getting
in the first division there was no salary. We didn't get a grant.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but we were making sure that our players have something for themselves. I can tell you, ever since that decision came, they never lost a game.
Whoa.
They won all. Yeah, because they say if you win a game, you get winning a game. But they only win a game, you get your 1,000.
If you miss the goal,
because one player is bought and then he plays but Chelete.
Plays a role in soccer.
It plays a role even there. That's why I said, poverty. Straight.
But you can never buy a winning mentality. You can never quite buy a culture, because those things, you have to cultivate them from within.
When people are happy without they have money. I am telling you.
One can say there's money in other teams. Like are we here saying that? Let's talk about money for a second. Are we here saying that Chiefs and Pirates are broke?
No, they are not.
Then what is the problem, particularly at Chiefs, for example?
Yeah, but remember, in Sundowns, there's the thing, when you win a trophy, the money's all yours.
Well, we hear so.
Yeah.
I don't have evidence. We hear so.
That's what he said. So it does play, but with Chiefs, they're a professional team. They have got board. A board meeting. I know for sure that every Tuesday it's a board meeting, the whole day. The board members are there to decide on the team. So I'm just saying, the manner in which we're running a team also contribute. I mean, these players must see the professionalism of the team. It plays a very important role. I mean, go Riestas, for example, we had a board. We had lawyers, we had accountant, we had, we select the criteria was to bring people that will add value into the team. But the running of the team. So that's why we attracted Busempem, Tabang Libisi, Frank Makua, Chaklas. We attracted them. They came from a well-run team.
And they still saw value in...
They still saw value leaving Johannesburg and come into Polokwane and still feel we are in a team that is run professionally.
Do you know, I asked this question and because you describe a Kaizer Chiefs that's well run, and I'm not saying they're not well run, but then where are the results? Because and I'm using them really just as an example of trying to find out the barometer. How do we measure the success of the South African Soccer League when it's won? The league is won by the same team over and over and over and over again. Yeah. The same team that goes and reaches the semi-final of such big. The same team that contributes to Banyana and Bafana Bafana. Yes. It's the same team. Surely this is not a successful league based on that example.
Yeah, obviously it's a worry that you have one team winning all the time. But also there are contributory factors. For example, coaches.
Okay.
There are good coaches that would come to a team and not produce the results.
Yes.
It happens everywhere in the world. It depends. Sometimes it's luck. Sometimes the coach does not gel with the players. Yes. And the players, they don't give him the result he expects. That's why the coaches will be gone because the 3 years has passed. There's no trophy. There's nothing. And again, Chiefs and other teams like Pirates.
We're really using Chiefs as an example.
They have kept coaches. Chiefs has never been a team that remove coaches because of they hang on.
Zwane will tell you.
Yeah, and give the coach time. But there will come a point where they say no. No. We have to have another coach. But another coach comes, he must still go through the processes again. So it's a very difficult challenge. But the issue that we are raising of one team taking over, it has never happened, But it's a trend now. Sundowns is just doing miracles.
Yeah, but I worry about those miracles. I'm a Sundowns fan through and through. I was born and raised in Mamelodi, so Sundowns for me is in my blood in a lot of ways. Yes. And I'm not those fans that started now when they're winning. We were there with them during the Bennett Masinga days, during the days of Waya Chafunye, Waya Chirwali, and all those guys from Malawi. Yes. We were there in those days. We even know the houses they used to live in, Kukasi. You know what I mean? So I look at it and say, I take pride in seeing Chiefs win. I take pride in seeing Pirates win. I take pride in seeing other teams, Super Sports and all of that win because they make the league exciting.
Yes, competition.
There's nothing worse than a Sundowns that wins a game and I don't even celebrate because it was just another game.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, what is missing in this mishmash of a soccer league, soccer infrastructure that we have built as South Africans?
I think also sponsors. If you look at majority of the teams in the PSL are not sponsored.
That's true.
Yeah, but the league has tried their level best to bring the grant up so that at least the team has got a base.
How much is it now?
I think it's 2 million.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Probably more, but I know it's around that amount. So indeed, what you are saying is you need to have a competitive league where we don't wake up and say, the league is already gone. Who says it 10 games?
No, who says it 20 games? We are saying the league is already gone.
It's already gone. It's not exciting any longer. Le bona lena ma Sundowns. You want to see competition, you want to see but I don't know. Maybe there's something that we don't see. But as far as I'm concerned, I believe the structure of the professionalism of the team and money plays a very big
role.
Plays a role.
Yeah, look, I'm a happy Sundowns fan, but I'm not always happy when I see other teams
I can see that Ria Sundowns.
I even changed. I was wearing one that was too colorful, two Sundowns.
Hey.
So Garere, let me tone it down just a tad. Let me tone it down.
Yeah, but you must be a happy supporter. Winning, it's what supporters want to see.
Absolutely, but I tend to become an impartial observer of life and also say, Awamara.
Because we have passion for football.
As a whole.
Chiefs
winner cup one. So the excitement of the game comes back.
And your players must be motivated a bit.
And is Sundowns ruining South African soccer, as some people have said, with too much money and too many games winning too much? Is that a negative element?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's a negative element. I think we need to find. I'm going to make my research on this one. I think you have raised a very important issue. Is it why? Why is it a one-man
league?
One team league. All the time for all these years. I mean, Sundowns has been there. Kana kwa Natasha.
That's it.
They won some. I mean, Pizzo won some,
lost some,
and lost some. So maybe there must be a deeper research to look at why it's. Is it because the other teams are poor? Is it the players are not happy? Because also players need to be happy if they're not happy. That's why I gave away my status. It was because I was afraid to have a team that is not happy because I can't pay their salaries.
That was a moment in the history of your passion for soccer when we read in the news that you are giving up your status. Your status not being bought like some of the status that were bought. Vance was bought and so forth. Surely that must have been a difficult decision for you to make personally.
Just like selling your own baby. You have a child born and you struggle. You can't
food, look after them.
You don't have milk. You don't have that, and there's nothing you can do. You just feel, hey man, I will let adoption because there's nothing I can do now. It was like that. It still pains me today. Even when I got this pen, I said, mara wa tseba nkebe ke ituletse ko Ria Stars ke dira dilo tsa ka tsa ko PSL ke sna no kore ke feel hore no taba e ya Ria Stars honestly, but it was a contribution to football. It was not based on the reward that I got. It was the understanding that when the teams are 16, there will be more benefit for the teams. And I gave that benefit away to the league to say, it's okay. And basically because Limpopo, there are no big corporate there. Corporate go Cape Town, go Durban, whether Balelatela Kamu Dasbini, you don't know. So it was on that basis that, look, do we really want to see ourselves relegated because the players are not happy, because we do not have the money? We never had a month where our players never got paid. Never happened. Korea Stars. They might be paid late because the grant came late. But the PSL would have written a notice long before to say we might be late with our grant. So it was a coordinated structure. That's why I believe the structure say le di partners, the sponsor, di lebelela jwalo tsa re no there is something that team, and we can be able to associate our brand with that.
Sponsorship of teams is clearly not something that's easy, because we still have a lot of teams in the league today that have no sponsors. What is at the heart of getting a sponsor as a team?
The image. Yeah, sponsors would never associate themselves where there is scandals, where the players are always in the papers every week in, week out. Yes. So, and also, my view is that most of us, when we go out there to talk to corporate, we talk money. And corporate have lost a lot of money giving money to individuals, to clubs, and the money is not utilized for the club. And they only realize later on. But aya e rekile koloi ya motho, aya thusa di players. So it has always, even when I share a document of how to acquire a sponsor, I've done a lot of presentation. I've done it for Northwest government. I've done for a lot of teams. I've given them the template and say, avoid asking for money, because the money that you're asking is for services. So identify those services and say, these are the services. I remember a lady in Northwest, when I was doing a presentation, yeah, look, Mamre, I'm a champion. I could have represented Northwest, go guy, but then I didn't have money. Get money for what? For the flight. Don't you think if you went to SA or British Airways and just say, I just need a seat in your flight? Many a time they have that seat.
True.
Because the flights are not full all the time. But because you want 10,000 rand, people just believe. A lot of corporate out there, they avoid giving money, but they can do certain
things. They can give you a service
that you want. If you go to a bus company and you say, I just need your transport for my players, for the trips that are within where I can travel, I'm sure the bus services will be able to do that. So I learned that because that's what I did when I was still in the field. I had an office, a lawyer firm. They said, there's an office, you can come and occupy it. Yes,
they gave you free space.
Yeah. A businessman bought us a transport. It was his transport, but it was utilized by the team.
Got you.
Said, if the team wins, I'll give them 10,000 rand each. Every win. So outfit, I would go the sports shops, and they will provide us. We wear outfits that were just provided, because we never went to a sponsor and requested for money. And I still say it works even now.
Yeah.
Because you can get a 5 million rand from a company without actually getting the actual
money.
Cash.
Yeah.
But the services that you want to use, obviously you need to pay your players, you need to pay your technical staff, you need to pay for some food. When you travel, I always say soccer, it's one industry that you pay people's salary, you transport them, you feed them, you clothe them. Where in the world have you seen a company that does that? Jeez. It's only in soccer, in sports.
Here, when they travel, bajawer.
Yes.
I guess that's how. Is soccer a profitable business? Is it a good business, simply put? Like, as in, if you're to advise someone, or you have options,
I think that's why even Patrice said I'm doing it for fun.
Okay.
I don't think it's a proof. In fact, he told me at one point, because before he bought Sundowns, he called me to his office and because I wanted him to join Ria Stars.
Okay.
I did a presentation, and after that he called me, said, "No, let me tell you, Seswak, you're going to be poor for the rest of your life. I'll get you involved in the business that I am in."
Okay.
That's what he did.
Make money move, not in
Yes,
soccer.
Mara, in soccer, I'm not sure. Go and check the top 100 businesses in Gauteng and tell me which two. You should be having Chiefs and Pirates there.
Because they're big.
Yes, you should be having them there. But go and check. Are they there?
Yo.
Why? So it's the love. Those people there, they sleep, they wake up, they eat football. They lived it. Kaiser Mutaung has lived. That is in his blood.
That's
you
true.
can't declare him persona non grata.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Yeah, so that's
So it's
it.
it's not about making money.
No. In fact, I think you will be spending money, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You
you'll be
lose
saving.
more than you make.
I think so. Well, unless you have those sponsors that
Yeah.
are big, that then you don't have to pop out money from your family money or from your business. You know?
My observation is that soccer, as Patricia put it, is run by people who have money
Yeah.
before soccer
Yes.
and who have other sources of income
Yes.
that is unrelated to soccer completely.
Yeah.
And that money is enough
Yeah.
for them to take a small percentage of that money and say, let's do the soccer thing on the side.
Yeah.
It's not the business you get in
Yes.
because you want to be rich from it.
No.
That's not what happens. And that's exactly what you say.
That's why you see any rich person here. Yeah, I've spent every little cent of my family into football.
And time.
Yeah, and my time, and there's nothing to show. I can't show you. You see this house.
The money comes from
Yes,
soccer.
no, never. It's always you have to go and borrow. Most of the teams in the PSL then were depending on borrowing from the league all the time. Yeah, can I get an advance?
Oh, no.
Yes. Can I get an advance? And the league, obviously, because they want a competition, profitable, then you will get that, then you will pay, the hard way also, It's better now.
You're saying it's better now. Is it really better? Because you can't help acknowledge the inequality that exists in soccer, where there are multi-billion rands companies, and I use Sundowns again,
Yes.
and Chiefs and Pirates, because the Vodacom logo on Chiefs and Pirates is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then you have and the FNB on what you call on the Cape Town. And then you have those that have nothing. You have those that don't have money at all.
At all.
You have Swallows that struggle to pay salaries very recently.
Yes.
So the inequality surely must play a role in the performance.
It does play a role. The betting was going to be just a little bit of upliftment. I think they get in there. They will get there at some point. But I would never, if I go back to football, for example, it would not to make myself rich. It will just to make my my heart happy and fulfilled
And keep you busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where were you born?
I was born in a village called Medingen, kwaBulobedu. Akhoshi Mojaji. Mola re sapa re ndieta re tsena ka ntlong. Ke apa Kolobedu ka mata. Ka mata. A ke le gae ke apa.
Sure, that's the environment you grew up in. I love hearing Slovenia. It makes me happy. Do you know why? There was a lady in my street in Mamelodi. That was exactly the way you just did, Slovenia. And every time I hear someone speak Slovenia, I get excited because I remember how she used to speak. What is it?
Yes, Ulobedu. That's where I was born. I was born in a village called Medingen. Born in a family of Bashimani.
I've heard that.
My second brother was actually my mother got a telegram note that they wanted him to come and play for a team. I can't remember the name of the team overseas. He was the best player.
What?
Yeah.
And what happened to him?
My mom said, no, it's my child. Over the country, that the border, it's not going to happen.
That's so clearly she didn't know.
So they never had that opportunity to play overseas.
And clearly that's the era of Jomosono and when they were
Kaiser
when they were traveling the world.
Yes. Kaiser Chiefs would come and play Sesheho Stonebreakers go Sesheho. Bara lokela kgomo.
Imagine that.
Yes.
Those
days when football was not for money.
No.
Yeah.
It was for entertainment.
It was for pleasure. For you go to my lady girlfriend to stadium.
To go watch a game.
And watch a game.
Sometimes we would stand around the field.
Yes.
The people were the line, the sideline.
Yes, who was not the barricade.
No.
Because the supporters were very behaved. Never football.
Jeez.
That's where we come from.
And your household, how many kids again?
We were 5, 4 boys and me.
Oh.
I was the last born.
And the girl?
And a girl, only girl. So they depended on me for everything.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Amazing.
Yes.
And Mama and Papa were both there.
My father passed on when I was 5 years.
Oh,
I actually don't have a recollection of him.
Oh, no.
Yes, and I grew up in a big family. The siblings, my mother, most of their children stayed at home.
Okay.
So the issue of last born is a very
there were lots of cousins.
No, cousins were big family. So there was never a time where I felt Urkina last born. Never.
Not special. You never became special.
No. And my next door neighbor, neighbor. Mara ko kholenyana neighbor my age.
Okay.
So I never had a girl that I play with when I grew up.
Did you play with dolls?
No, I didn't. I was watching this boy playing soccer all the time because he would play soccer all the time.
What?
Yeah.
And was
church was compulsory.
Yeah.
So nerisa holiday. Principal would say there's no holiday. We're going to church, Sunday school.
So from school to Sunday school.
Yeah, that's why I know the Bible, because I got it from the school and the church.
Sure.
Yeah.
Double whammy.
Double anointing. Yeah. So it was that kind of a situation, and I remember I've always been a leader. Even at school. You'll see me prefect. You'll see all the time. I've always taken a leadership role.
Why was that?
I don't know. I think it's a God-given gift. I think it's a gift that God gives each and everyone. We play different roles in our life, but I think God gave me this leadership role.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it throughout my primary school. When we choose what debate, I will be there.
Yes.
Yeah, in the classroom when we go up there, test, who got 100, first, I will be there. I will be amongst the 90 and 100.
Yes. Wow.
I always tell them, or remember, I was amongst the one that sit at the back there, because we achieved better, Yeah. So, and the principal always said to me, "Unampita maspikir." I had that name. I'm writing a book.
Why?
I don't know. When I Googled, it means somebody who never give up.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I hate it when you gave up the team. And I said, but that one I did. And then I don't know why. But he called me. That was the name he called me. Yes, but I didn't know that time what it means until now when I wrote a book.
Yeah.
and I googled what does this mean. Even the author said, I'm going to Google this. What is it? And he explained it in the book. But the other thing that he called me, he said, when you're going to be our parliamentarian.
Yo.
Yes, you're going to be our parliament. He really believed in me so much. So much.
And you were very young.
Yeah, I was very young, but I didn't even know what a parliamentarian is by then.
Well, we were living in very different times.
Yes. But
Ka nako ya bo Lewakgomo at the time.
Yes. Even before Lewakgomo le tlile later on. So that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
Yes, a church girl, going to Sunday school, baptized, confirmed, married in a church.
Was it Roman Catholic or Anglican?
Lutheran
Yes.
Church, yes.
Wow.
That's
Did the neighborhood inspire something inside of you? The environment, because Barry, show me where you were raised and I'll tell you your future.
Not really. You know, it's a village. You live in that village. What they do, other villages, is none of your business, honestly.
Yeah.
But also, because my mom was an entrepreneur, ona roka the caps, I roka this, I roka that. So every Saturday I would go and sell, you know. And, you know, this beautiful young girl and Batuba Reka, you know the power of presentation. Yep. When they see the presentation, they go like, no, it's not because Magwinya Mama are better than us. It's it's me. It's the presentation that you see. Yes. So they look at the presentation and no Reka kwale kongwanyana ule. Yeah. So we lived in that. I have gone to school without shoes. Not that I didn't have shoes, but I felt the majority of children, they don't have school shoes. So why should I wear? So I also would go there.
You were pledging solidarity with the others.
Yes. I just believe I grew up in a family, a rich family in the environment where we were, because we had everything. My mom was a nurse in a clinic, you know, and all that. We had a helper who was my mom's helper, not us. We still did all the things, you know.
She was helping. She was there to help her.
No, she told us in no uncertain term, this woman is not for you. You wake up in the morning, you go and fetch water, you go and fetch wood, you clean the house, you clean where you are, you iron your own school uniform. She's not doing that. She's helping me because I'm helping you to be able to grow up and be able to be something in your future.
Was that element of ambition and outlook in life, that was it always there from since you were a kid?
Yeah, I wanted to be a lawyer, actually. You know, I wanted to, but it didn't happen. I was forced to be a teacher.
Who forced you?
My mom.
What did
decided,
she do?
No. And I don't know why she didn't force me to be a nurse. But she decided, no, now we are going to school and teacher.
And you went ahead with that?
And I went ahead. I even remember when I was in Rutlatlilwe, College of Education, I got a bursary, but she was still paying me money for school.
Just so you stay?
Yeah, but I had bursary.
Wow.
But I never told the original bursary.
Really?
I was buying myself nice outfits and, you know, but because she didn't pay to the school, she always sent me money for
you to pay.
To pay. So that money was pocket money, and then the school.
How did you get a bursary?
Because I was performing. Oh, I'm an A student. Always A student.
Jeez.
Yes, I've never been a gomra. All the time when they call, come, I'll be within that.
The top something.
Top girls, yes.
Wow. And did you ever teach? There's a story that says you taught at a mine?
Yes, at a mine school in Abomspruit.
Okay.
Yes, where it's this Mozambican, Malawans in the mine and all that. Then we stayed with, when I went there, we had a lady who came from Sesho also. We came at the same time, the principal invited us, but he then decided to leave at some point, leave us there. So we're staying in a shakinyana, mara smartinyana. Yeah, and every time when we wake up, we find dilonyana tsentle, the biscuit, the cold drink. So we kept on enjoying these things, and you ask Ria, Mara Diluze, where do they come from? Wherever, if
Did you ever find out?
No, we found out one terrible night when there was a knock at the door at 12 o'clock midnight. And then and there were no phones that time.
Of course.
Yeah, so we were so scared that we said, no, we are not going to have this. Probably is the owner of the food that is
You've been eating.
We have been eating all the time, but we never knew who that person is.
And what was their intention? You don't know?
I don't know, because these two beautiful girls from Sesheo, Uchaba Babudek, I get a rutish. Teacher, but they respect you in the community. No, Mara, Ragas no fitler, no, but I know Revere Dijomola.
Now, shall I get the biscuit? Shall I get the biscuits in the cold drink? I remember days when Shalaga biscuits in the cold drink.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Can you eat some more?
Yes. You don't not yet some already. I know.
back in the days.
Yes.
Jeez. And you didn't stay long in the teaching profession.
No, I didn't. I left that school and I went to a Shangani school, a high school.
Okay.
In somewhere in Linyenyo, where I stayed with my aunt, and I stayed there.
Why didn't you stay long though in teaching?
I just hated the fact that it was, it was just too. Man, I wanted a change of scene.
Okay.
Yes. And also, Mozambique, Malawi.
Because you were teaching them around.
And you don't see any other person that so at least like I'll see, go to town in Zanini, and then I see some, and I get attracted. So,
Jeez.
and that's what I'm putting in my book. In fact, my book is called Not Without a Struggle.
No, yes.
Yes, because when I was talking to the author, he came up with it because he sees a young girl who struggles through life in so many ways, different platforms of struggle. And he said, no, this book's called Not Without a Struggle. Yeah. But in the book, it's I want to show young girls that we also live this life. We also dumped at some place. You also shared a man who had other women. And we found out when you are in an environment that you don't want to find. So I'm trying to show that, and at the end of the book, obviously, is my crisis, my issues where I was removed, at
the current,
current matter that is there. But the book really wants to inspire young girls, South African, to say it doesn't start up there.
Yeah,
I started at a village where I was walking. I was doing exactly what villagers do.
And look, getting wood.
Yes, look where I am today. But the journey. I show the journey. How do you get there? What makes you to stand out? What makes you to still persevere when you are challenged with so many issues in your life?
You worked for government,
yes,
like the apartheid structures of government, not this one.
Yeah,
but in the Bantustan.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, I remember I was a teacher and then I worked for Standard Bank.
Okay. Yes. Oh, there's that little transition.
Yes, I did everything that the bank does.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. I'm a leader. When we changed from manual to electronic, I changed that system.
Jeez.
I was one, I think we were 2 or 3 that were chosen to take the manual into the new system. Yeah, we did that.
amazing.
So I worked for Standard Bank for 8 years.
Jeez, that's long.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, when I got married, then I decided to go to government. I was recruited actually by people from government saying, why don't you come? And then I worked in the Department of Public Relations Officer, where we were preparing everything of the chief minister in terms of communication, in terms of traveling, in terms of going there to make sure that all the protocols that you see, that's what we did.
Who was chief minister at the time?
Ramudike.
Ngwaku.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
But
yes.
Ngwaku is this government?
No, Nuku.
Nuku.
Yes.
Oh, there was a Ramudike before.
Nuku Ramudike.
Oh, there was a Nuku in the Bantustan
He was the
leadership.
chief minister. Yes.
Wow, look
yes.
at me.
Nelson Nuku Ramudike.
Ramudike.
Obaratwa ke Mandela. Ha, Nelson. Nelson.
Yes. Wow,
Yeah.
those were the days.
Yes.
Did you enjoy that time?
I think I did, because we learned a lot of things. I mean, I learned, when you are in that space, you are able to open doors where no one can open. You are able to get there and be able to. People, security standing there says, no, you can't enter here. But when you are a public, you have to find a way of defeating that security and be able to get there. So I've learned communication skills. I've learned to respect other people. There's a lot of things that you learn because you meet a lot of people, the chiefs there, all criteria of people that you meet when you are there. Yes.
And you stay in government.
Yes.
And then there's 1994, the transition.
1999.
99.
Yes.
Were you in government during that transition?
Yes, that time I was a deputy director in the Department of Traditional Affairs. I worked with
Now
the
this
chiefs.
is the new government, yes.
The new government with Ramatlodi.
Look at you.
Yes,
Another one.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah. So I served in that public relation during Ramatlodi's time, and then I got the position of deputy director go Department of Traditional Work with I know all the chiefs in Limpopo. I've been at their places, all of them.
Jeez.
Yeah. So when 1998, I decided, I just believed man, I need to decide whether I want to work for government or I want to run Ria Stars. Yes. And then I made that decision. I said, no, I think I want to run Ria Stars.
There's an interesting story of how Ria Stars was formed.
Yeah.
It was completely unintentional.
Yeah.
You were minding your business, waking up in the morning to go to work.
Yes. And the boys came and there were boys who were talented, playing for Naughty Boys. And they said, we're too many, we don't get an opportunity. Now we don't like sitting on the bench or there on the grandstand. Can you register us in the Toyota Under 21?
To start a new team.
Yeah, no. Hey, register us in that. And I said, but competition, you knocked out in the first game and then?
It's over. The team is gone.
Yeah, it's gone. So I decided to register them in the Impala League. That was the ABC Mutsepe then.
Okay.
Registered them. They won their game the whole year. That year, won every single game. I had good players.
Was that the beginning of you not being available for a lot of things at home?
Yes.
Now the soccer is now becoming a part of your life.
Never. My children grew up without me. No, and I still look back and I say, maybe it was a good thing, because they are resilient. They can stand on their own. My 2 girls can stand on their own. They can say their mind. If they're not happy with what I do, they will tell me straight, Mama, we don't think that is good enough. My boy is independent. He does what he wants to do. So I think they grew up without a mother, and a father. because I was always with my husband everywhere. I get
Jeez.
a use a premier meal. He was a rep, so we had a baki, a panel baki.
Okay.
So that was our
The
transport.
boys used to sit in the back.
Yes.
By a mechi.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Those were struggle
But
days.
they will win all their games. There was no money.
How did the name Ria Stars come about?
They decided, those 5 boys.
Not you.
I asked them, what do we call this team?
Yeah.
Then said, oh no, Ria United, Ria Stars, and the other one said, no, man, guys, why live Renard Stars? So we call ourselves Ria Stars, or this is a team of stars. Yes.
Do you know something I've observed about South African teams relative to other parts of the world? Other parts of the world, teams are labeled with relation to the area.
Yes.
More than the person.
Yes.
In South Africa, we have a different way of doing it. Most teams are given names based on the person that started the team and so forth and so forth and so forth. Why do you think that is?
I really don't know, because I did not tell them what to name it.
Yes.
But I think it's the belief in the person. You know, I think when a team is formed, they look at you, they say, I know, we believe in this woman.
Yeah.
We believe she can do. I mean, 5 boys from a team, and that team was run by a person who's rich. At that time, he was a rich man who loved soccer. He had everything, shops, whatever, mortuaries and all that. And they believed in him. So I just think it's that they look at you and they say, this woman, and they saw me Kadi Chepis Little League, they saw me Kadi under 19.
You were just there, but not really doing much.
No. Ne ke dira fela di competition tsona tsa under competition e thoma. I just said no. Ke bona bana ba bapala ke le register le, but they were excited.
Jeez.
Coming to a hotel for the first time, seeing a swimming pool. I remember when they came to National, there was a birthday party at Takabona under 10. Ooh, my boss never slept that night. Yo, yes, like with that party.
It was a new experience.
They gate crashed that party like out and I got lifting or lift tsa mole ne di bereka.
By up and down, bana
Up and down.
lift.
Na ke re tloela bana ba ka ba iketle.
Wow.
Ba ile ba bapala le Gloria FC.
That's incredible. Gloria FC was a big team.
Yeah.
Because I grew up Mamelodi. We had Alba Chiefs and Sundowns and all of that.
Yeah.
And we were all afraid of this team called Gloria FC.
Yeah.
They were superstar
And
players.
boys, yes, not girls.
No.
Boys. And she was playing with them.
Yes.
Yes.
Those were crazy times. How do you meet in Ria Ledwaba?
We went to party, you know, Kolubochum, there was a nightclub. And then I remember my brother didn't like him at all. My brother, he was in the other camp. You know, there are these camps. Camp, so he was on the other side. And then my brother just didn't like it at all, you know, and he kept on, you know, talking to me but he was a gentleman, he was a soccer player, you know, for Naughty Boys. So I was attracted. You know, my brother couldn't do anything about it.
It's your love.
Yeah, and we never stopped loving each other, and then we got married.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And created a big family.
Yeah, family of 3.
Yes, that became a bigger family.
Yeah,
with many.
Now there will be grandchildren now, 10.
Magogo abana wa 10.
Hey, hantle fela.
And you remember their birthdays?
I bought.
I remember my grandma never used to really remember names like that.
Yeah.
She would call 4 names before she gets to yours.
No, even my mom passed on at 107. Wow. Yes, but I think she started deteriorating a bit her life got to 2005.
How old was she then?
205.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. And couple 103, 104, she would call me. She dial herself on the phone and call me and say, yeah,
Over 100
yes.
years.
107 when she passed on.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You are heading there.
And she would know our birthday and her grandchildren's birthday. She will call you on your birthday, all of us, without discrimination of anyone.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
That little double guy
passed on, got COVID in 2001. It was a very difficult. My children are still struggling to recover from that. They loved their father so much. They were very close to their father, and during COVID, and we were all affected. We're staying in Joburg, he's staying in Polokwane. The girls are staying. We are all COVID,
quarantined.
We're all positive, all of us. Then they realized I mutole and COVID papa dula molo skaba, because they could have simply drove to Polokwane and pick him up. They couldn't.
Oh no!
And that's what happened. So he passed on. That time when real COVID 2021
was killing many people.
That January, people died. Every morning you were getting a message: so and so died, and died. And when we were burying with 50 people,
were you alone? Was he alone when he passed away? Was there people around him?
He was alone.
Oh no!
Yeah, he was alone.
Oh no, that must have been a hard
I think
experience.
that's what is very difficult for my children, because they just feel they could have done something. There was something that they could have done, and unfortunately, and I'm unable to assist them. I don't know what to. They were very close to their father. Their father was everything to them. So every time he got sick, he will be accommodated. He will be in Santen Hospital. They will never leave him alone. But I think there is this guilt that couldn't we have really done? And I keep on saying, God gives each and every one of us time to live. And how you are going to die, it's already prescribed.
True.
So you can do what and have what. You could have brought him to Johannesburg, but the time was his time.
It wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah. And it was a very very difficult time for the family, because I think we lost 7 people. My mother-in-law, his brother was buried in December, and I was buried my brother was buried in December in Botswana. So there were so many deaths within a very short space of time. So we're burying people, it was a very difficult time for us.
Do you know, COVID defines a generation of people who lived through it.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've spent enough time acknowledging the impact that it's had on different. We've moved on.
Yeah.
We almost woke up one morning and then said, okay, let's carry on.
Yeah. But if you have gone through what we've gone through, it always reminds you, when you go there to the grave, say, COVID.
Sure.
Yeah, COVID.
Yes.
It's difficult
Yeah,
times.
it's a crazy time. Yeah. I want to go back also, very small moment, to how you then get into the big soccer. Like big soccer. How Ria Stars then qualifies to become the big team that it eventually became.
Hey, that's about the journey. Yeah, it was a very difficult.
It's not a short journey.
No, you see, I always even bragged in the board of governors of PSL to say, some of us, we have done everything. We have gone every step of the way in football. Some of you in this board, you just form the teams, and then you are in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I have traveled. Some of us we have traveled that journey.
Yeah.
Very difficult. I the third division, second division. Every time you are number one, you are number two, there is a protest, there is this.
Sure.
It was very difficult. But I think the contribution of Chico played a very important role, because remember, I'm no more working. I depended on my salary to run this team.
Sure.
Sponsors, it's just the services that you get there, but there's somewhere where you need to use money. So when Chico came in, when we were in the first division, it took us 1 year, we were in the Premier League. I think his contribution, because he came with the financial muscle. He came up with certain players. I mean, Bo Frank Makua, Bo Tabang, Bo Sempeng. It was a contribution that I'm talking to this player, I'm bringing this player. So he brought that for us to be able to get into the Premier League.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know, it's the most amazing thing. Are you still friends with Chico?
Very much so.
Ask Chico to please come here.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. So many people credit Chico for something that they've achieved in their lives.
Yeah.
And they've sat on that chair.
Yeah.
From musicians to Lindelani Mkhize says it's
he
Chico.
contributed. I know.
It's all Chico.
It's Chico. He contributed so much. Sometimes when things happen and you hear his name being dragged into the mud, you look at the person, the kind, he has got a heart of gold.
Yes.
He have lifted a lot of people. Brenda Faside, one of them. He has done so much. You could pay school fees for people. When we did not have money and our overheads were 400 and something, we only received 200.
Sure.
He will cover that up. So he played a vital role for us to be able to get into the Premier League.
How did he get to be a part of your team? He could have gone anywhere.
No, I read a newspaper article, and in the newspaper, Chico was saying he wants to join Black Leopard.
Ah.
Oh, yes. And I didn't have his number. I know him as a musician. I don't know how to get hold of him. Then I tried the journalist. Can you get me Chico? It took me some time. Then one got me the guy who was Sowetan from Sisheho. Can't remember his name very well. Yeah. So he gave me the number. I called him. When I called him, then he says, I say, it's Ria. Oh, no, Ria of Ria. I say, no, sure. Just tell me, Chico, you pass 5 million people. And you want to go and join a team, you have to buy 800,000. Does it make business sense to you?
That's your pitch.
You have got that was my pitch to him. And then he laughed. He said, "Hey, Maresh, I don't want to be in the forefront of." But then, okay, fine. Let's meet. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Then I came to Joburg. We met. Took time.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah, he didn't really say yes the first day.
Do you know why he was resisting?
I don't know, because I think he was involved in some other... Remember, he was involved with Rovers, he was involved with Swallows, and there were issues and whatever.
But he clearly liked soccer.
And he's a fan.
Yeah.
He's a fan of football. He loved football. So ultimately he said, no, let me come and see the boys at Polokwane. Then he came. I think he just loved the environment. Yes, and then there we were.
That was it.
Yeah,
and it changed everything.
Changed everything.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Tiko Modise, how does he become part of your team?
14-year-old. I told Chico go Soweto. Yes, and then he brought Tiko. 14 years old.
Did the parents even allow that?
Yeah.
The
parents are now, when young boys love something, you can't deny them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Which other young player did you bring up?
There was a player, Lehotwani. He played for Jomo.
Yes.
Yeah, he came to me. There was another player, Ali. Didn't really make it, but he was from Alexander. There was Khasago Banda.
Okay.
Very talented. He played for Pirates after that.
Yeah.
Can do anything with ball. May his soul rest in peace. He passed on also. Yes. So there were many young players, because remember I took the players from under 10, under 12. So these
You were
players
building,
came
yes.
with the team, go under 19, and everybody wanted to play for Ria Stars.
It became a special team at some point.
Yeah, no, it was. It was a special team, loved by the people. That's why people are still angry with me. And I understand why they're angry with me. But it's not easy.
Yeah.
But I can never say no.
It's only the story of Celtics in the Free State.
Yeah.
The people felt robbed when that team just disappeared.
They robbed. And people were selling at the stadium. People were security. People were cashiers. People were security there in the. So they had love. Some people got married because they were coming to the game. They get their wives, their husband there. So the economy of Polokwane City was up, when you played. So there were a lot of disadvantage when the team was normal.
It also speaks of, because yours is a perfect example of other areas that lost the same type of teams. I was in Free State less than a year ago. Sundowns was playing with another team, and the fans were supporting that other team. They were not supporting Sundowns. I drove into Bloemfontein, and people were wearing Marcelo. Marcelo with their gears. They are super fans. They love the team so much. And I say, what's going on here? I don't know. Sundowns is like when we're playing, we supporting the other team. You can tell that they're still a united force. They just don't have a team to support.
Yeah, they don't. It's just a pity, It's supporters will hate you forever, but they're not really hate in that sense. But every time you meet, you go to a mall, you are stopped 3-4 times and say, straight.
Yes. Would you start a team again, given the chance?
I think given a chance, I will.
Yeah.
I think I love the game. I think I brought excitement in Sesheho, the type of football that they played. It was exciting. It was exciting, and if I can bring that excitement again, I can do it.
You're in the papers now recently for saying, legends, come on, wake up and be a part of this.
Yes.
What is really this call? What are you saying to legends?
I'm saying you can't have football and have legends outside football. It's insane. Yes, I'm simply saying there are many roles they can play, the legends. It's not only in leadership. It's coaching. It's development. It's school sports. I'm saying they are young. They still have the energy to be able to do it. So if they still have the energy, why can't they play a role? This thing of them of not being united and pulling each other's strings like that, it can never help them. So if they want, I think there are people who can unite South Africans, that can be able to bring change into football. They've played the game. They can be able to do that. Equally, the teams, the owners of the teams, why are they quiet? They keep on complaining every now and again that we have not been paid, we have not got that, we have not got that. Change come when South Africans stand up and say enough, it's enough. That's the only time. You go to many countries, change was brought by the country, the public, the people in the country, to say it cannot be business as usual.
Yeah.
We have to have a change.
What is the role of us as ordinary South Africans who just
Man,
love the game?
Do you think if a South African can just stand up one time and say we're going to any federation that is not giving us the results that we want, and we are asking them to leave that office, do you think they will go there again? Never.
They won't.
They won't. South Africans, they are talking right now. In the media, they are talking, radio station, they are talking.
They're calling.
Yes, WhatsApp.
Voice notes.
Yeah, the voice note, their WhatsApp and all. And it's not enough. Change will never come when you are on the fence, talking when sitting on the fence and think change will. Football, it's us. SAFA is us. SAFA is not the executive that is staying in that office. SAFA, it's us South Africans who love football. That's us. It's our organization. We need to support it. We need to make sure that it is run where we are all satisfied that this organization, we can see football is playing, we can see young boys are there. Ask yourself, when Jesse Quinn took the under-12 and won the World Cup, where are those boys?
We don't know.
Yeah. Do I even know the one of those boys? They should be by now playing Go Bafana Bafana.
That's it.
Boys.
You're so right. Because they would be at the right age for that.
Should be profiling our players, should click one button. If I played somewhere, go under Chepis under 10, my name must be there. There shouldn't
Forever.
be any problem, certificate or age.
Yeah.
Because this player, when he moves,
We remember him.
We remember him.
When he was 10.
Yeah, when he was 10, when he was playing.
Sure.
Yeah. Now I've got a player that was 10 when he played for, and he's now the chief director at the department of the Premier in Limpopo.
What?
Talented. He has just been because I encourage them.
You remember him when he was 10?
Yes, and Kimubita captain is my captain because he captained Ria Stars Kanagwa Chipis League under 19, under 21, and I'm so excited because I took him aside and said, Joseph, you are not going to be on the sideline when I know football is in your blood. Yeah. And the answer was that I see the fight for position, and it's not where I want to play. I want us to contribute into football. I want us to develop football. And I said, do it. You are in Capricorn. Go and talk to the legends. There is an associate of legends, but you must have a structure in your province. He's just been appointed the chairperson of that structure of the legends.
Imagine
I wish all the other regions can do the same so that at the end they've got a provincial leader of the legends.
Do you think legends are, you said it, but let me ask it so it's clear. Do you think the legends are united?
They are not.
At all?
No, they are not. They know even themselves. They are not denying that. But I think they need assistance. They need someone that would be able to bring them together and give them the reason why they should be united. It's important for them to be united. The minister now has got a budget for ambassador, which is for the legends. Every province has got that budget, meaning the legends has to do something. And that budget is there for them.
Yeah.
So they need to unite themselves.
Do you think we as South Africans understand our role? I asked you what is our role, but do you think we understand it?
You don't.
Because we can easily protest games until we see whatever change.
Yes, you
but
can.
Maybe we don't quite understand the problems.
I agree with you. In most cases where I'm listening to the interview of radio and as I'm listening to the questions that are asked by supporters. For example, you hear supporters saying, they're getting money there. They are paid a lot of money. I don't even think most supporters would understand. They support football, they support the Premier League, they support Bafana Bafana, but the structure.
We don't understand
You
it.
don't understand. Or Harar Mutuki NEC member, Yasafa, where does he come from? You know, how is he elected to be able to be in that position?
Answer that question.
Yeah. No, obviously it's
from
the
the regions.
Yes,
how do the regions select this person?
There's local football associations.
Then they are the ones who says Ria Kwena tsena mo.
Our murutishi ke murutishi wa rena ra mo respect our president wa rena.
And then o tla ya kwa.
And then from there your name it's put on the ballot for that position. So that's how you select. It might be ordinary South Africans that are there that just love football, and then they end up being able there. That's why some are teachers, some are law enforcement, some are lawyers.
Ordinary
that are
folks.
there. Because in that end you have got lawyers also in there. So it's important to understand the structure. It's understand the structure of the local football association has got their own constitution. They can run football at that level. Get under something there. Get junior teams go LFA. Then when we come to the region, banally constitution I wanna get regional leagues, men and women. And then you go up there. So that's why I always say, is it really good to have a staff of 100 people go national office? But
if they're needed at the bottom.
At the region.
Yeah.
That's where people are needed, because that's where football is played. Football is not played at national Bafana.
And that happens 20 times a year.
And I say, I still want to see in my lifetime, I want to see a national coach that will bring a player that is unknown, that is not playing go pre-SL, but playing go regional league.
Because they are just amazing.
Because they are there. 144 teams of ABC Motsepe in this country. Tell me how many players are in 144 teams.
Sure.
Do you want to tell me...
Almost 30 times 140.
Yeah, you want to tell me in the ABC Motsepe there will be never one player
who's ready to play for Bafana now.
Why don't you put those regulations in your rules and regulation and say, Bafana coach, you can select your team everywhere, but these 3 players or 5 players
must come from the
bottom. That's how you're going to get excitement of the boys down there. Mara, if it's only looking at the PSL, it comes COSAFA, it's only the PSL, it defeats the purpose of development.
Incredible, eh?
Yes. So I'm saying...
So much we're not doing right.
Yeah. I was at the Shack. Talent that I saw there. A team from Limpopo. Yes. Taking a team in Gauteng to nothing. They beat them 3-0.
Well, we saw...
beautiful goals and scored... And I say, but these players can play for Bafana.
We always see it, Nedbank.
Yes.
When we see you, like,
Yes.
whoa,
Yeah.
those ones there.
Yes.
That's how TS Galaxy came about. We only see these teams come up.
But they're there because the coaches that we have only look at the first division and the Premier League. But there are many players out there that are talented.
Help us understand this as we conclude. PSL, SAFA. Help us understand that connection so we get a picture.
I went with Banyana to a game overseas, and then we were traveling from Frankfurt to somewhere in a bus, and I took it upon myself to call each and every one of them and ask them that question.
What?
Yes. I said,
is it because you recognize that we don't quite get it?
Because I was asking them, I asked them 3 questions, all of them. Who's SAFA? They didn't know. What's the relationship between PSL and SAFA? They didn't know.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a legacy trust left by 2010? They didn't know. Look at them. They are educated. Some of them are graduates, and not a single one of them has been funded. But because they didn't know.
That it even
Yes,
exists.
they didn't know. And I gave them that information. Guys, you can be able to be assisted if you want that and want that. But the relationship, SAFA is made out of 52 regions. An associate member, 10 associate member, ke school sports, ke blinds, ke deaf, ke police, soldiers, and
All
that.
soccer.
Yes,
Yes.
all soccer.
Yeah.
And then you have a special member,
Okay.
which is PSL.
As part of the 10.
No. The
Special.
10 is there. So
Then there's a
they are the
special.
only special member of SAFA because they provide us with players.
Because you need players when you go play the
Bafana
national
Bafana.
team.
Yes. So they are a special member. They even have more votes than the others. The others will have 2. They will have 4. So there is a connection. That is why the chairperson of PSL automatically becomes the vice president of SAFA. And then you have 4 other members that will be nominated by themselves.
Now it makes sense why SAFA has many vice presidents.
Yes.
Not just one.
Yes. No, they've got 3.
That's what I mean.
Yes.
It
And
makes
then-
sense because they
then
come
they've-
from different...
Yes. So wouldn't it be good to have it in the constitution that one of the vice president must be a legend? From the associate, because there's a legend.
From the
of
Legends Association,
yes.
which
Wouldn't-
doesn't exist.
No, it's there.
But
The association is there, but they've never been election. They've never been real election where the regions elect their members, and for that reason there is no compliance. So the head must be able to know, but there's no compliance. You can't be in the association when there is no compliance. We should be helping the legends to be able to come. Some, they can't travel because they don't have the funds to do that. So if you bring them together and we use the sports and recreation in their province to assist them, then they are able to do that.
Jeez, and it gives them a new purpose, a new reason
and they
to exist.
They want that purpose. They want to contribute. They want to contribute.
We don't know where to start.
Yeah, we don't know where to start. We just need somebody to guide us to be able to do that. But that platform is there. It's one of the associate members.
Amazing.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
That it exists, but somebody needs to abashiki.
Hey.
Almost like there has to be another member.
Yes.
Us.
Yeah. No, yeah, you must be a member.
The South African public.
Yes.
That has representatives in the South African soccer.
Yes.
We are not interested in anything else. Really, fan. We love the game.
You see, because when I support us, there must be an associate.
And when all
this
the branch,
Yes.
it can come from. It will be messy. It will be very messy, but it will come from.
Imagine a game without supporters.
Then and yet now currently in all the structures you've mentioned, we are not there.
Yeah.
And yet we are, as they call us, the 12th player.
Yes. You are there. You make the game.
We pay for the games.
Yes,
we are the reason DSTV gives us the game.
Yes,
Even the scheduling is a TV schedule.
Yes, because supporters are going to be there. So it's something. And also supporters. I always said to speak to supporters and say, the value that you bring into the game must be respected. For example, wouldn't it be a good idea for SAFA to have a partner in the taxi industry? Because they travel.
That's how they travel.
Yes. So if you partner with Santaco, for example, and you say to Santaco, you charge 7 rand a kilometer for our supporters, can you charge 3 rand?
Because you're taking them to the game.
And you are not waiting for the people to come. They're there. You find them waiting for you.
Yes.
They're there. Game Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. There's a game. As long as they have the membership card of football, then they can be able. So there is so much opportunities. The retail businesses, go to them. Supporters, they come and buy, get R1 for. Those are the benefits that they want, because they are contributing so much into our football. Now, I was saying, if I was going to be a president, the first people that I will talk to was the supporters. I was going to ask all radio stations. I'll come there and say, I'm here.
Yes.
Tell me.
What are your issues?
What are issues? What do you want to do? Let's hear. Let me hear. Let's debate what is it that you want to see in football, because they have so much to offer. So much.
So PSL, a completely independent body
Yes.
to SAFA,
Yes.
and vice versa.
Yes.
They just work together.
No, they're not complete, because their constitution must be ratified by SAF.
Oh.
Yeah, I get their
they
member.
are member. They are part of those
They're
other
already
members.
the SAFA. It's the 52 region,
Plus.
it's the 10 associate members, plus PSL.
So they kentwana ya bona. So tshwanetse go bona gore tuna.
Hey, mara ba khumile ho feta bana bopa batswadi ba.
That is so true.
Yes, go to the world and check.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, it's the other way around. The federation are more richer
Than the league.
than the league.
What is the main source of income for the federation, for SAFA in this context?
It's sponsors. It's you, SABC.
That's the main source of income now.
Yeah. It's those Hollywood and those
Hollywood bets
yeah,
now.
Sasol,
Magluglu.
Yes.
Back in those days.
Yes. Those are the sponsors. We have not created a platform where we generate funds ourselves, and they are platforms.
And you can create that.
No, the regalia.
Regalia.
Yes, you can have that for Bafana. Who
It's
doesn't
available for
work?
sale now, but
Yeah,
who makes the money?
Yeah, but we must make money out of it. We must. It must be a strategic point where we make money. You can even have shops where the supporters themselves.
I looked for
Yes.
Bafana jersey during
Yes.
the now
Yeah.
and I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
It wasn't easily available like a
Yes.
Sundowns jersey,
it
for
must
example.
be easily available, and because we get money out of it, there must be revenue stream where we have got products at SAFA that must bring revenue into the association. But currently, no, we do not have that. The revenue that we make is for the teams, because they register every year.
That's it.
Yes. They register. If you have 144 teams, they pay 10,000 rand,
It's some money.
15,000 is the money. Yeah. So, but we need to have a structure that can be able to generate those stadiums that I'm talking, the fields that were there would have assisted
To
the
get some
regions,
revenue.
yeah, to run their own affairs and have a bit of revenue.
I'm going to conclude, Mayor, and ask a twofold question. And your answer concludes this conversation. One, what do you hope for South African soccer as a whole? Second question, what do you hope for yourself in relation to soccer? There's a lot of spaces that I didn't deliberately go to,
Yes.
your businesses.
Yes.
And I genuinely think that DJ Spoo did an amazing job
Yes.
of covering that life of yours,
Yes.
with the air conditioners and
Yes.
all of that. And I enjoyed watching you talk about all of that stuff. So I say, if you want to check that stuff out, go to DJ Spoo's
Yes.
podcast. Beautiful stuff. But when your wish for yourself,
Yeah.
actually, let's start with your wish for South Africa and soccer.
I want to see South Africa being rated consistently in the top 5 of the African continent. And there is nothing that stops us being number 1 consistently.
Yeah.
With the resources that we have in the country, with the supporters that love football so much in the country. I want to sit at home with my grandchildren and enjoy seeing our national team consistently without fail being a participant. And I'm not saying there are times where there's no luck. And that's what football is all about. But for myself, I think I have a role, a bigger role to play to advise. I think I've done my part now. I have played my role. I've added value into where I have added value. Mine is to assist the legends, to assist the supporters to be able to find value in what they are doing, to be able to advise the association and say, look, for you to be able to bring more revenue into your business, do that. There is a lot of role that I believe I can play even when I'm seated at home. Just an advisory, and that's why leaders do. When you retire, you don't retire from the service that you were giving. You continue to serve in a capacity where you can be able to give advice and add value to what is. And that's why we have veterans out there in football. Some of them are honorary presidents, some of them are honorary members, basically because they've played a role and we still believe they can play a role. I would want to see one time in a Bafana game, there is no other celebrities there in the presidential suit, but is the legends that played football and the veterans that have run football in this country, sitting at home and nobody cares about them. Bring them. Even if you don't bring 100, it's 100. If you don't bring 100, just bring 10. Each game you say,
a different 10.
A different 10, a different 10. Bring them. It was done once, and those veterans felt so good about being picked up at home and being brought into just to watch the game.
I believe in, and I wouldn't use the word miracles, but I believe in things working out naturally and weeding out inside weeds. And the weeds, in this case, are unwanted elements in whatever you're doing. And nature tends to do that all on its own. Yeah, nature, it's that's why when you have chemical imbalance, you vomit.
Yeah.
Because nature says, oh, something is wrong, let me help you with this.
But Limudim, God does miracles. Sometimes we think it's ourselves or somebody else or something that, now I believe or God does miracles.
Yes.
Miracles do happen. This outcry that has been there, people have lodged cases and all that. Boom, you wake up in the morning, the hawks are at an
Someone's
organization,
house.
someone's house. And you ask yourself what happened. And it's how God works. Sometimes we give up early. Sometimes we want things to happen at our time. And God says, no.
Not now.
You are not ready and you are not going to do that. He did that with Moses. He said, you are not going to go to the promised land. Someone else. You have played your part. So some of us have played our part. Now it's for the new generation to take the baton and be able to run with it so that they do not fight the same fight that I'm sitting in. There must never be victimization at our organization. There must never be abuse of power. There must never be manipulation of the Constitution. We must always be citizens that abide by the rules of the game. It's a beautiful game, fair and free. That's FIFA says play it fair. So ever play it fair. It's not only in the field of play.
It's also
where we are finding ourselves now. So it must be a fair game. People must be doing things and do them in a manner that is in alignment with the Constitution.
Let me conclude the thought by saying, should one morning the miracle you speak of happens that the hawks are at someone's house,
yes,
and that person is no longer there, whoever that person is, we can all imagine, and the opportunity for a new executive of SAFA presents itself, would you be willing to run again?
No, I wouldn't. I think I've come to a point where I think I have run my race.
Okay.
My race has been run. I'm there to support. I will be there to support anyone that I believe it's capable to be able to take this organization to another level. I don't wish anybody to end up in jail and all that, but I believe if there are wrongdoings that has happened, we have the justice system in this country that must be able to deal with it. But it will never be my wish, or I want to see somebody, in jail and all that. It's not who I am. But I want to see young people, not only at SAF, I just want to see young people in parliament. We must see our South Africans being interested in the issues that of our lives in our lifetime, so that we are able to contribute. Rena will be sitting there at home and be able to contribute. I know a lot of people out there, you must never say that you are not going to do. No, it is time for advice. It is time where you can be able to contribute while you are not in the leadership, but you are supporting the same leadership that is there to be able to change the status quo and be able to have football run the way it should be. We used to enjoy football. We talked about it, when there was no money, And the Picard Commission was very clear in their findings. No officials of volunteer of football must earn money.
Last question, I couldn't help it. You reminded me. You said no soccer official should own a soccer team. Say that statement again.
If you are a member of the executive of SAFA, you are the president.
You shouldn't be owning a soccer team.
No, you can't. How do you own a soccer team? Only the president of a region.
That's it. So you are conflicted.
You are conflicted.
Yeah.
So it is there in the constitution.
Do we have members who own soccer teams?
Many. Many of them run.
And
I was accused, or I'm running a team. I said I
Which
ran.
one?
No, my son had a team.
Oh.
So, and now it's my ticket. No, I have no bearing on that team. I ran Ria Stars, and Ria Stars, it's no more.
Yeah.
So my son was running the team with me, and then he decided to have a team. He had a team in the ABC Mutsep, and I had to declare that I have no bearing. But if my son comes to me and says, hey, I can't pay the players, go 20,000 rand, I will give him.
But what about if they were asking you to declare? What about the many that own teams and nothing seems to be happening to them?
Never an issue whatsoever. But we know. It's a well-known thing.
You own a team.
Yeah,
people own.
Yeah, we are owning teams. They have teams, but the statute says you can't. You are conflicted. You are a leader. Your team is going to have an advantage over the other people. There's even a rule that says you can't have a team. For example, Sundowns can't have a team that plays in the ABC Mutsebe. Because what happens if we come to the Nedbank?
Yes, they'll be playing against themselves.
They're going to play against themselves. So they say if you have a team, you call it a development team, and it happens to play in the Nedbank, then if they come to that point, then the second team will then take over.
Not them.
Not them. Because there is a team that plays. And basically it was that conflict that you're going to see Chiefs playing Chiefs.
How does that help?
But those things are in the Constitution. Oh, well.
Mewe, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I regard this as a master class here, South African soccer and soccer politics, because that's really what it is. We think we know when we're sitting in the stands cheering for our favorite jersey, but we really don't. Arizi now, what's happening back? Kokichi. We just enjoy the food.
Yes. We don't know who cooked the food.
We don't know what they used to cook it.
Yes. No, that's how it is. It's
wow.
And I think we also don't know our supporters' needs.
No.
We don't know our legends' needs because we never ask them.
Yeah.
We need to ask them. We need to have a conversation with them. Legends, tell us, what is it that you need to
Osinganga,
do?
man.
Yes.
Osinganga. I appreciate the time you've
Yes.
given us.
No, thank you so
It's
much. I really appreciate the time
Yeah.
to spend with you. I've watched you from far all the time, but today I'm sitting here with
Wow.
you.
I
And
didn't
I'm
even know
with
you guys were watching. You have no idea. I would have said yes to this conversation or a year ago, 2 years ago,
No,
when I started.
We're watching all the time. But
Yes.
thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
I hope I have done justice to your questions, and I hope your followers will be engaging you
I
and
hope
asking
so.
those questions and say, why didn't you ask
Hey,
this
they
question?
will say that. I suffer from that. You have no idea. I had Helen Ziller of the DA,
Yes.
and there's a question that I was told, why didn't you ask that?
Yeah.
I'm even kicking myself for not
Yeah.
asking that.
Yeah.
2 questions. I'm so kicking myself. You have no idea.
Yeah.
About the losing of black leaders in the DA.
Yes.
They've lost too many black leaders in the DA.
Yes.
I didn't touch that. And
Yeah.
yet it was in my notes.
Yes.
Another one was, why did you write a letter to the Americans to try to help you with these elections?
Really?
Hey. I didn't ask that question.
And
yet it was in my notes.
And people say, why didn't you ask this 2 important questions?
And I didn't ask them.
Yes.
So I hope I touched as many as I could have. And if you want to see more, go to DJ's Boo Square podcast. You'll find another version of a conversation with you that doesn't spend an hour and a half on soccer only, and soccer politics.
True.
He talks about the kids and talks about all sorts of things, you know. So I enjoyed this so much. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Osinganga.
Thank you for the water.
Thank you, my nephew.
I hope you are learning a lot. I hope you are learning.
Yes, I can do
not only admire and learn.
I hope so. Eh?
Yeah.
Do you learn anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure.
I'm not sure he ever tells me if he learned anything. I'll tell you one thing, he remembers the people's names.
Oh.
If you were to do a quiz with my nephew and ask him people's names, or who's this? As long as they've been in this room, he knows exactly who they are.
You see?
So look at you now.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. We've done this for 3 hours and 29 minutes. We didn't even go to the toilet once.
Imagine.